Finishers MMA, finishersmma.com, @finishers. That's how you find them on social media. These guys have a show with us every Monday called Now We Go. You can check it out. Zach, JM, Thor, Grace, there's too many to name that come out of that school, and they are killers in the game. They are the biggest MMA jiu-jitsu school in the area, and they are owning the East Coast. You can contact them at 610-438-0746. Ask for Andrew. They are at 3761 Nicholas Street in Easton, PA. They have 2 locations as of now, Bethlehem and Allentown. They are growing into 3, 4, 5, 6. I would say they are taking over, but they already have. Check them out on all of their social media. They are awesome to follow. And if you're looking to get in shape, you're looking to choke people, you're looking to do anything at all to better your life, finishersmma.com. AllValleyRooter.net. That's not how you pronounce it all the time. I just say it that way. All Valley Rooter, Jared LaBarba. He is my plumber. He's the show's plumber. I'm getting him plumbing business all over, and I love that he is getting what he wants. He has 24-hour emergency service. He is certified, insured, and professional. You can follow him at All Valley Rooter. He's on social media, and you can find his information at allvalleyrooter.net. Jared came down over the weekend and he fixed a problem down here. He's super professional. I love him as a person. I love his business. He grew it, and he's doing his own thing. It's allvalleyrooter.net. It's 24-hour professional plumbing services. He can help you out with everything you need. It's 610-762-1656. He's certified, insured, and professional. Do not be afraid to contact him for any of your plumbing needs. Support Jared. Jared supports us. Luke Dalmire Handmade Custom Knives. I love Luke. It's lukedelmire.com. He's a farrier, a bladesmith, and a blacksmith. He has custom knives, and the best part about it is you can take classes to make them. So not only can you take a class to learn how to make knives, at the end of the class, you get that knife. We're working on a project together. He started recently getting into chef knives, so he's starting to make chef knives. He makes hunting knives. He can make any of your needs as far as blacksmithing. That's at Luke Delmire on Instagram. That is the best way to follow him. You can see all the stuff that he's posting. He shares, he does raffles, he gives giveaways. Check out all things Luke Delmire at lukedelmire.com. We've had him on the show before. You can dig down in the library, listen to how he got started and where he's at now. I'm excited to work with Luke. He's a really good friend of the show, and I'm excited to showcase his chef knife that he's making me. Check out all things Luke Delmire at lukedelmire.com. Farrier, bladesmith, blacksmith.
I'm Mark. They call me Rip. Rips Auto Detail. You can find me on Instagram, Rips Auto Detail, RIPS Auto Detail. You can hit me, Mark, at ripsautodetail.com for my email. So if you want to call me, 484-553-1366. Social media is really, you'll see most of what I'm doing. But for the business, yeah, give me a follow on Rips Auto Detail. Watch what I'm doing. If you're interested in paint corrections, ceramic coatings, anything in the Lehigh Valley as far as high-line aesthetics for your vehicle. We're not talking cheap stuff here, and I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. It just is what it is. I've been working at this for a long time, and if you want someone to take a prideful approach to the aesthetic care of your vehicle and really turn you out a product that you haven't experienced with someone else before, give me a shot, man. It's a one-car, one-man approach, and everybody gets the same level of devotion. Obviously some jobs cost more and some less, and you've got to draw a fine line there. It's easy to really obsess over things and go too far sometimes and over-deliver. It's never really a bad thing, though. So give me a shot.
Not an audience on the other side?
Yeah, it's almost going on YouTube.
Pull that up a little bit. Let me hear you.
How we doing?
Keep
Good
going.
to see you here, Michael. Yeah. So about those drinks.
Yeah, they're good. We're good.
I had a terrible drink.
What'd you have?
It was just one night. Felt like being an asshole and just having something way too strong. And I had a Long Island iced tea. I was like, let's be 21 again.
Yeah. That was like the third time I ever ordered a drink.
No, it was a mistake. It tasted terrible. I seem to recall those tasting good in the past when I was young. But
It depends. It depends where you're at. But I would like to have the guy who was on make a Long Island iced tea and know what they're supposed to taste like. Yeah. There's no way I've ever had a Long Island iced tea that's supposed to taste the way that I've tasted them.
I always thought that it was just something they
sweet furniture polish, and if you had 5 of them, you were annihilated.
I think they're just giving it to you so you go away.
Yeah,
You know
well, yeah, because
it's
a super annoying drink to ask for.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So they make it strong enough that you're just like,
because it's like all the clears, 2 of the browns. Like now that it's coming back to me, I hated making Long Island.
Yeah, there's like 18 things that go into a Long Island.
Yeah, fuck Long Island.
If I was a bartender, I'd be like, no, fuck you. Get out of here. Sorry.
What have you been up to, man? I'm trying to think of the last time we did a show was probably Road Dogs.
Yeah, I think that's the last one we did. That was like a year ago, dude.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I was here.
And then I was like, oh, and then I think we might have hung out a couple times for the fights, but then I was like, I saw you doing all new stuff the entire time. I want to keep this super casual, but I do want to get into, because I'm genuinely interested in what's the new stuff that you're doing and what is it added, because to me, you are the premier person who does this. So the fact that you weren't using this product, and then when you started doing it, I figured it was at a high level because I consider you at the highest levels in the area. So like, what is this new product that you have or that you're doing with your business? Because it's not just a product you're using. Like, this is now another, like, I feel like you moved in your business doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like just partnering with a company like Modesto, being able to be an installer of such a
what is that?
It is top of the line ceramic coating.
Yeah.
End of the sentence. That's it. That's all that needs to be said. It's the best, as far as anything I've ever used in my industry. I've installed a ton of coatings, ceramic coatings, for anybody who hasn't listened or anybody who doesn't know what that is. It's like, it's a finish for your car it lasts for years. It's wax on steroids. We've gone over this before, Mike. I think you're aware of it. In fact, we talked about maybe doing it on one of your cars eventually in the future when you get something nice again, right?
No, dude, the Transit, bro. The Transit's nice.
It's better than the Benz right now for what you got going on. But
yeah,
anyway,
oh my God, yeah. Can't put a fucking grill in the Benz.
Ceramic coatings, a ton of people know what they are. They've got them on their cars. It's what I do. Yeah. I polish paint, and I'd like to throw coatings on there so that we can keep the finish lasting longer, so that we can preserve the work that gets done, keep the car looking sharp. End of the day, Modesto is a highly sought after, prestigious product within the industry, and they don't allow just anybody to install it.
Yeah.
So it was a nice feather in my cap to be able to say, all right, cool, we've been accepted by this company, and we can move forward installing the best known protection that I can think of to
then customers who wanted to use that or couldn't because there wasn't, like, you are now accessible by these new clientele now that would want to use this product, and you can offer it now in the area.
Well, yeah, I can just offer my existing clientele the better version of a finish that I was able to offer before. It's a more durable product.
Oh, I didn't even think of that either. It's because I thought, like, it makes sense what you're saying, but like, I was like, man, he's going to get such new clientele, but there's already such a heavy clientele. I'm just saying, from what I see that's coming in there are people on a daily basis where now you can be like, hey, like, this is also that, where I was thinking it was going to bring more new, but it's now just a service that you can also offer to. Yeah, you've had long-term clients.
It's just an improvement on what I was able to offer before. Really, it is. It comes with a cost increase. That is what it is. It's a better product. It costs more. So A, it's better for me to carry as a business. And, B, it justifies me to feel a little bit more, I don't know. It's prestige. It's really, to me, it's like, all right, we're offering something that not everybody can get their hands on. You can't just go buy this. You can't just go become an installer very easily. So, it's like I said, it's a feather in the cap. What I mean? There aren't many people. There are 2 of us in the area. Otherwise, you have to travel about an hour or more to find another installer. So it's cool. It's going to drive business in if they are looking for this particular product. Yeah. Which, I've got it now, and it's great. It's been a joy to work with. My rep's awesome. John's great. He's really been from training on. Everything's been.
Because you had to go out and like go through all that stuff too. But that's always awesome by a company that makes you have to do that in order to use their product.
Absolutely.
It means they're holding you to a standard.
That's right. They hold a high standard to their installers. So you can't just have a credit card and a pulse
Yeah.
get your hands on
Yeah,
the stuff,
yeah.
and they say, "Here you go. Here's a little pamphlet that says how to install it." And it's broken English, and it's do the best you can. No,
Not
it
an
was,
AutoZone.
Right. This was intensive training, and
Yeah.
anytime you've got a question, John's been great as far as anything you really need.
How long were you out there for? A long weekend?
That was a long weekend. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was good. It was good. We packed a lot in, but it was great. Luckily, it was Virginia, so I was able to drive. Other
Yeah.
guys, we did a group, so other guys had to fly in, and
That's crazy.
yeah. But those guys, they're worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're worthy installers, and also it was worth it for them to add this to their business. So
Yeah.
you take the flight. I mean,
That's dope that,
Luckily, it was a drive for me, but
You got the opportunity to do that and are doing that.
Yeah, it's great.
What's it been like now? Have you noticed anything different, or is it just not in the product itself, but in your like daily flow? Has it become like a little bit busier? Is there like a little bit more to carry this year? Like, has there been much change?
There's been there was equipment. You have to purchase equipment in order to install this because, like for instance, Modesto needs to be infrared cured. So when you get finished laying the coating at the end of the job, car's polished, car's perfect as you can get it, and then coating is the last thing. Afterwards, Modesto needs to be infrared cured. I didn't have an infrared lamp, not a shortwave lamp. I had a heat lamp, but I didn't have a shortwave lamp. That's what's required for this job.
Yeah.
So you have to purchase one of those. They're not cheap. So that's, for instance, you've got some equipment that comes into play. The product itself is a little bit more expensive for me as a person to obtain. So all those things come into play. Trying to just this year I tried to focus on making my workspace better for me. I got myself a nice tool chest and pack
Yeah, you
everything
deserve
in.
that
Yeah,
though, man.
Trying to you try.
But it's hard when you're building and grinding and you want to put everything back in it. It's like sometimes with me with studio stuff, it's almost like you don't want to reward yourself, but you're way past the finish line.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like, just stop it, idiot. Just get something so it's easier. And then when I got this, it was more money than anything we bought for editing equipment,
Right.
but I could have this podcast up before you would get home.
Absolutely.
Like,
You could.
dude, I used to have to watch the whole thing for an hour. I
remember that.
But like that to me was like my penance. Like you got to learn how to do this. Where now it's like, but it's hard sometimes to give yourself things to make it easier. And sometimes I think too is like, does it only work because it is hard work? Like, if this got easy, like
That's really it. There's nothing
Yeah.
really that I can buy that makes my job easier.
Yeah.
Per se, it's just I do try and only purchase the stuff that I know is going to be worthwhile. I don't really try to buy all the new products that come
Yeah.
out on the market because every half year, there's
Yeah.
a new bottle of some polish or this, whatever, and it's like
it's like Sega back in the day.
I've already got. I've been doing this for almost 20 years, so I've
Yeah.
got a cabinet full of stuff that I know works. I don't need to really mess with anything new. Some of the
Yeah.
stuff that comes out is like, all right, I'll give that a try. But most of the time, it's like I already have something that I know works for that time and time again.
Yeah.
Try not to even step outside my systems. I think a lot of detailers would tell you that you have a repetition. You know what I mean? You've got a routine, and you don't. If you don't deviate from your steps or your products of preference, for example, you're going to get consistency. Just like you were in the kitchen.
Yeah.
If you start varying products and suppliers, and suddenly your meat's coming from this place or whatever, what have you, you might start noticing variances in your overall product. Try not to mess with that stuff. You know what I mean? Now, this is one, of course. I knew this was going to be a game changer. It's different to work with, totally different application process. It's not like any of the the coatings that people might have seen on the internet. You can watch YouTube videos on how to put a coating on. There's lots of DIY guys. It's fine. Do it. But if you want a pro level, you got to come to somebody like me.
Yeah.
You can't buy this product. You just can't. So when you think about that, you have a pro only product. You can drive people that demand a little bit more and are willing to pay a little bit more. So as a business, the sky's the limit, of course. If I have more guys, I can do more cars. It's just me still. I'd like to get somebody else. That's where this business is going to grow, I think.
Yeah.
When I finally get somebody I can trust and train and grow with and, just get along with. I got a small workplace.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to share this small
That's a dope
workplace,
spot, though.
it is.
What else have you done over there? Because I haven't been over since maybe right after you first got it, and it was like
It was hot.
It was hot
that
because you
day.
weren't even talking about getting air conditioners back then.
I have an air conditioner.
Yeah, but I like seeing the growth of, it means one, it's you're spending time in there. If you know what I mean, like if you need to start getting shit like that.
Yeah. I spend a lot of time. Anybody who follows me or
Yeah.
just knows me as a friend or whatever, they know I spend a lot of time at work. Too much, probably.
What do you make? How do you make that enjoyable? Is it music?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, how do you?
Yeah, man, I got these headphones on
Yeah.
all day long. I fought against it for a long time. I was just rocking a pair of Sennheisers with a cord. And then the cord kept giving me issues,
Yeah.
and it's something to have in your pocket and dangling. You got to tuck it through your shirt. I fought against Bluetooth for the longest time, but I got myself.
And it's too loud for a speaker, correct? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're just adding to the noise.
Yeah. You turn it up all the way.
Guys don't get that. Like these buffers and
Yeah.
vacuums and compressed air lines, all that stuff is really loud, and it's bad for you.
Yeah.
Long term. It just is. Even just breathing in the dust, abrasives. Imagine guys who are cutting stuff up with saws all day.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not wood. Maybe it's like some kind of composite.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be breathing that crap in. Well, we're slinging abrasives.
Fiberglass.
We're slinging abrasives all day. You know what I mean? So there's like aluminum and shit that's super small in there. That's basically what a lot of abrasives are. It's just like microscopic, abrasive particles. You don't want to be breathing that crap
No.
in. Plus what you're ripping off, because you're ripping off paint. When you're buffing it, you're removing some. To get those scratches out, scratches like this, you've got to bring the clear coat or the paint down to more of a level surface to where that no longer refracts the light. So that's where you see those swirls and scratches and stuff. So you're removing material. This is what
Yeah.
we're doing with those buffers. We're not just doing it for the hell of it.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. There's a science to it. We're trying to keep it even and level. And the amount of dust that can be created in that process, it's really bad.
Does it
for
take you a while to get started in the morning, or do you just kind of like go in and you're already ready to go?
Yeah, in the morning, yeah.
Like, what's
usually,
your
like,
process? I have questions because that is a long. Like, you put in fucking hours, man. So like, I know kind of like sometimes in the morning here, like it's different every day. Some days I can get up and have a cup of coffee and just crush the entire day.
I used to
And
do
there's
it.
other days where I get up and I'm like, I'll go for a walk. All right, then you know what I mean. And then halfway through the day, you're like, cool, I'll start now. But then I work super late.
When I first started, man, I was so happy to get out of dealer life 6+ years ago now that I was like, man, I don't have to be at work at 8 o'clock in the morning anymore. Or when I was managing, it was like 7 o'clock in the morning. I don't have to do that anymore. I started doing work at like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And it's like, before you know it, you're working until 8 o'clock at night before you've had like a really good shift put in, because you get your gear.
And when you work that hard and you're working for yourself, I guess it's different for everybody, but for me, it's like there's a pace I keep up with every day. So if I kick that pace on at 2 p.m, that pace is going till 3 a.m. Like that's what's going to mature with me with the business, where it's eventually going to be on a schedule.
So you can't do that all the time.
Yeah, but it's super hard to get into a routine when you're doing all this different stuff. But
so my routine had to become what it became. I just kind of reverted to my paperboy roots.
yeah,
I used to deliver newspapers when I was a kid, and that required me to get up early and just get the day started. You know what I mean? There was no real sense in going back to bed afterwards, even though when I was a kid and a teenager, I know I did it. I tried to get like 20 minutes laying in bed after running around the neighborhood and sweating for an hour, just throwing newspapers on porches and in screen doors and stuff. But I knew that a certain point came 2 years ago or so where it was like, this business is really... it's demanding of me and my time, and if I don't want to keep working late at night, I got to start going in earlier. So,
and what I've noticed too is because I've done both, and right now I'm not getting up early. I don't sleep in late, but it's not early to me.
Yeah.
And I've done both, and getting up early is way more beneficial than riding the line and sleeping in.
you will hear that from me. I will agree on that,
I'm fighting back to get there, and eventually with what I talked about with you earlier, like there isn't any way around that next. Like, you know what I mean?
That's what you got to do, man. I like it though.
That's up early
I'm
when you
up
want
early.
to do that shit.
I've been taking it easier on myself in the past few months just because like I'm not so pressed. I have my schedule.
Yeah.
It's booked out, but at the same time I'm not like, man, I really got to go. It's not summertime when it's really busy. I've got multiple things to jam into a week.
Yeah, because we talk too, and it's like you're also trying to find time for like mental health, and you're like, yo, like let's go on a fucking bike ride. And I know the same way because it's so hard for us to even line up. But I'm like, you know, you beat it the fuck down, and it's like it's like, you know, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot like I like mountain biking, and I used to do that every day. I forgot that I enjoy, and then the next thing you know is like you're just working.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'm leaving tomorrow morning. The whole reason is because one of my friends has been yelling, you're doing too much, come up here. But now it's like I'm learning to like listen to shit like that and being like, yo dude, like get
Yeah, I hear
Get
that
this
from
better.
people. Yeah, I hear
Get
that
this
from people.
better.
Yeah, absolutely. I can definitely. I hear that resonating in my head that you need to
Yeah.
stop working so much or whatever. But in the beginning of anybody who's started a business can tell you in the beginning, you know what I'm talking about. You devote as much time as you think is needed
Every day, all day.
It's about a grind, and I'm trying.
And
to get
that
it to
grind
where
was
I don't-
built there before you start doing it every day because that's what you were building up to do.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, you don't realize it, but when the dealership is more demanding and they want you to do more volume of work,
Yeah,
you learn
yeah.
how to do some things quicker.
Yeah.
But I don't have to do it that way now. I do it my way because
Yeah.
I'm going to do it the right way. I'm not going to cut corners. Great. So get up early. Get up. For a while there, for over a year and a half, I was 4:30. I was out the door and I was at the shop by or before 6. And I like being the first guy on the block. You know what I mean? None of the shops.
Probably so much easier.
Oh, dude. That's the best. Honestly, that's one of the best benefits. Not everybody's going to be able to roll into work, their job, as early as me because your shift doesn't start till whatever time. But
Yeah.
I have that freedom. I go in early and I get it rocking. You know what I mean? And 22 is much more of a breeze at 5-ish in the morning, whatever. Like I said, lately I've been a little bit later. I've been letting myself sleep in. It's winter.
Yeah,
It's
you're in
cold.
winter, too.
I don't care. I'm doing
Yeah.
all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when spring comes, I will be a little bit early. You know, you cut that extra 45 minutes out. And
You also got to do that. You got to cut it back because you're going to need that energy once summer does hit.
yeah.
Like, that just doesn't come from nowhere.
No, but the energy for me in the summer comes from getting out of the box. So you get in there
Yeah,
early.
yeah,
You get started by before 6, so you can try.
That makes sense.
I got to try to beat the heat. Got to get the air conditioners
Yeah,
running.
you're always fighting that fucking
Dude, I got to
heat.
get the air conditioners running first thing in the morning in the summertime and try and get ahead of it. And you get a bunch of good hours in before the building gets hot.
Do you have them on
and then-
timers?
No, it's a big spot cooler, and
Yeah.
like a construction guy will probably know. It's not a swamp cooler where it's a
yeah.
big fan and water. It's a real deal air conditioner. It's a 2-ton 24K.
No,
whatever.
I've seen those before.
Yeah, it's real, and it's got the big old exhaust that goes out the window and everything, and it works decent. It really does, but you get a bunch of good hours in the morning before the building really gets hot, and it's like you got to try and take
Yeah.
advantage of those. So that's more of my routine. You know what I mean? Get in there early. I'll usually sit there and just fuck around on the internet for a few minutes when I get to the shop, like sit down. I used to drink energy drinks. I stopped doing that.
You fuck
recently.
with coffee?
No, I don't fuck with coffee. I don't really like the flavor of coffee. It's never been a thing for me. Like it's a taste thing. I just don't like it.
I had to drink them first, and then I think I developed taste after. Like, because we were working in the kitchen.
Most people say you
there's
grow-
pots of coffee, and I was just like, cool. What's the strongest? How are we gonna stay up for the next 12?
Bustelo, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Let me get
That's
some-
that's how
yeah.
I started drinking that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we were someone got that, and I was like, oh, espressos, like. Go that much harder? Yeah, let's go.
I never really got into that.
I had
but
to
like-
stop,
but
and
like,
then
yeah.
but now it's like I'll have them in the morning and shit. But I also like switch over to tea sometimes. Like I watch a lot more of that shit now, where I see it grabbing patterns, and I'm like, I don't need to be drinking this shit every day.
Yeah, you
I don't like
need-
crashing off that shit either.
That's the thing. I was drinking those monsters. I drank them since I was like 19, dude.
I started drinking those when we
Drank
started
one-
doing tree work.
Yeah, yeah. dude,
that's when you drink that shit.
I was like,
hungover.
I've been doing it since I was like seriously 19 or 20, like one
Yeah.
a day. And it's like, you think about that. I've spent too much damn money with
Yeah.
the Monster Corp Coke, which is whatever. It is what it is. But like, I took a while. It took a long time for me to realize I needed to take a step back from that crap and just slow that down. I was doing that every day, and it was just
man.
part of the routine. You know what I mean?
Like,
Just
and
get up-
then it would be part of the routine where it's like, oh, well, I don't need that much sleep. I'm just gonna crush energy drinks tomorrow.
No, the sleep
That's how
always
it was.
sleep was always needed for me, man.
No.
But like the energy drink in the morning, because some people have the coffee. Me, it was just I get the Monster and I get rocking and everything's fine. I
Yeah.
just drink it. You know what I mean? And we're going, and I'll be moving on something on a car by 7 a.m. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And then I just had to stop that shit, man. A couple months ago, I was like, God,
Your guts.
I just don't feel
Rock gut
good,
fucks
and
fucks
and it's like
up your,
there's so much
appetite and
there's
shit.
so much sugar, and
Yeah.
I was like, I just didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, I used to drink those sometimes instead of eating lunch. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? We had big jobs. And we only got like a 5-minute lunch. I ain't sitting down and eat a hoagie when we're doing tree work.
You won't find me skipping a lunch, man. There's not much to me, man. I gotta eat.
We always would stop in the morning, and then if we had a late night or whatnot, it would be like, all right, cool, I'm just gonna grab an energy drink, and then you start the day with an energy drink, and then lunch comes, and if you need to keep going because you got barely any sleep, and then we don't have time for like a real lunch. But I mean, don't get me wrong, there was days where we got to go sit in air conditioned restaurants because there was one job. But when the shit had to get done for those days to be like that, it was just energy drinks. Fucking sometimes we do 2 to 3 a day, and then now you're like working like Superman, but now you think in order to do that again, you got to drink 3 more. You know what I mean? So then the next day you're like, I need that. It was the energy drinks. It was the energy drinks.
That's what did it. Put me up over. That's what I was doing. You remember when I was DJing?
Yeah,
and
that too.
Dude, I would be working.
Then you mix alcohol with those things, you're just up.
Work all day for myself.
Yeah.
Bust ass. Drink one in the morning first.
I forgot because you used to go down here all the time, and then I would come down and visit you. When's the last time did you even get out DJing?
I did a wedding.
It had to be fun to get out and fuck with music, man.
Oh, that was fun. I did a wedding for my friend Lindsay and her husband Adam. Great people. I actually married. I didn't marry them, but I did the wedding for Lindsay's brother also in the past. So like I think there's a third one coming up too.
Get it.
I'm gonna have to do. But they like to party. Whatever. It's fun. But the last time I did like a club or bar setting.
Yeah.
New Year's 19. Like it's been a while. It was I made that choice right then that New Year's to like I'm going brick and mortar.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
I'm getting a spot,
man.
And I started looking and working harder to get some money up and like all that stuff. And I haven't done a bar or a club DJ night since. And I'd love to do another one, but like
brick and mortar takes over a lot more.
I haven't even played at home in so long on any of my gear, so like I should really get back into that. And that's one of those things we were just talking about, like, oh, I forgot I like to do this. No shit. I like to play drums. I like to do the DJ shit. I like to ride my bike. I just like my cars. I don't even fuck with any of my cars. You know what I mean?
Because you used to take the pedal bike out before you got the mountain bike almost daily. I would see on your Insta. You forget, then you just start watching people work.
Going to the skate park. Doing that, and like riding the ramps and dirt jumps and all that fun stuff. Like, but I busted my heel last year, almost 2 years ago now, and I was like, all right, slow it down. You know what I mean? I like broke my foot. I was like, I gotta work like this. I was trying to detail cars on crutches, Mike. This is not fun.
No.
Quite difficult, in fact. But I did it, and then I was like, all right, maybe until I get this business to a point where like I do have another and then like if something like that were to happen to me, I wouldn't be completely dead in the water. Hopefully not actually dead in water somewhere. That would suck. When you don't. I hear it's actually peaceful. I don't ride bikes near water much.
I hear it's
usually,
peaceful. To go in the
water. Well, I did ride my bike into the Lehigh River on accident once when I was a kid because.
That had to be scary on accident.
Yeah. Well, you take the DNL down by where the boat launch is now on 33.
Yeah.
That boat launch wasn't there then, and that trail was a little bit more rugged. And I was just down there with I think it was my cousin and somebody else. And I was just young and took the wrong tree root side and went whoop, whoop, into the water.
I
it's
forgot
like,
tree roots.
Into the water. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Suddenly it's like, oh, what do we do? It's deep. I'm small.
I go sometimes. Well, I haven't. That's funny too, is because like I don't know how long I've been trying to get my bike from Kevin. That's how.
I know how long it's been because I've been asking you to fucking go for a ride. And
he's been asking me to go too. And my bike's at his place, and it's like we used to just do the rail trail, and it was nice. And it was beneficial, but like I said, like at the end of last year, it's like I started looking at what I was doing and like being an adult about it and be like, what were you doing wrong? And then like I looked at a bunch of stuff and I'm like, okay, yeah, that is wrong because it isn't normal that you don't get to go do all that stuff. And then when I started like moving stuff around, now that I'm excited, and then you just try and hope that your friends who are running businesses that they are also doing something similar, so you can maybe, but like. That's also what I tell the guys from 10th Planet is like, I get to meet all these, like we get to do this. We haven't had an hour in 2 years. And I'm happy that we're both working that hard, but that's not normal.
No, it sucks.
So
man.
It's like we're going into 2022. It's like a lot of it's work smarter, not harder. And then like just trying to enjoy the time I have down here with people, but then like being ready to take on a different workload. But at the same time,
you have to be able to cut it
off. Yeah. I've been really working with like telling people no. Like I work with the hybrid healer, Amy. Like she's awesome. She does all this back work on me, and like it literally like changes like how fucked up my back is. But then like I'll go there and she's like, you are so stressed out, dude. And she's like you're dehydrated. So like I've been really working on
That's
like
your fault.
It is, but I'm saying is like the stress, the dehydration, and all these things, I'm not paying attention to them.
Yeah.
And then it's like when we start working in through that stuff, she's like, well, what's going on? And she's like, well, you allow people to dictate your fucking day because you don't say no to everybody and you try and please everybody, which I get from my mom. But then all that does is make me chasing my fucking tail. So then 2022, I'm fucking like, no, man. No, sorry, I can't help you.
It's Mikey's year.
It's Tuesday, Wednesday. I can't do the podcast those days. Well, I'm sorry. I'm not moving. I used to move my whole existence around to land one show.
I still do.
Some people don't even show up. Like,
You know, when you told me about that twice recently. Twice.
Well, so one was a perfect excuse. The other was they were like, hey, I'm not doing what I'm doing anymore. And I'm like, cool. Like, you could have told me that last week.
When you didn't show up for our appointment, I was sitting here for the time allotted.
I try and explain to younger people or anyone who wants advice on like doing shit like this is that's my initial normal reaction to feel that way. But then I was like, well, what could you have done better? And I was like, well, you should actually be using fucking Google Calendar and they would have gotten alerted. So if they did forget, that is something that would have reminded them. Also, you should have everybody's number, at least get it so you can call or text them. And then I was just like, cool, because there's sometimes I'm booking people and I don't do that. So I'm like, all right, well, how much of this is your fault? Are you waiting to the last minute to remind people? So then like, that's what I look at and I'm like, cool, I'll fix this part. And then next time we get there, I'll know it's your fault. Like, you know what I mean? Like
that's where that routine comes in handy.
Yeah, but then that's only going to make me better in 2023. Or if I hire somebody to do my booking, I know how to book. It's not me being like, yeah, just tell them to contact my Instagram, and now I'm paying you to work.
Honestly, I can't stand it when people just DM me because I don't look at my fucking DMs. And I don't mean that like personally against any of my customers or people or person just that might be trying to get a hold of me and just say what up. I barely look at DMs. I barely look at Instagram when it comes to the business page just because like I'm kind of jaded on it, to be honest with you. It's like you don't seem to get much traction unless you sponsor it, boost it. You know what I mean?
That shit sucks.
I see less and less numbers on the exposure of it if you don't stay active and do it at the right time.
The beginning of Facebook, that shit worked. What it is now is just it's a money trap.
But whatever. It's just a matter of call me. You know, all the info's listed there. Call me if you want to get this done. Give me a call. We'll talk about it. That's where the protocol comes in. It's like, all right, who are you? What's your name? This is your number. This is your cell. All right, cool. I'm going to save this when we hang up. All right, cool. This is our point of contact here. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, I booked this guy and, I didn't get any info from him. Try and eliminate that crap because, you know, when they do have an approaching appointment, I try to, hit them up 2 days beforehand. Be like, hey, we still good?
Yeah.
Yes.
And like doing that's going to make myself more organized.
Yeah.
And not only it's going to be organized in discussing the business I'm trying to run, it's also going to keep me in fucking check from like keeping it that way.
And it's going to give you more time up to the day.
I'm excited to be there with even paying attention to that in the business. That's along the way. You start learning that. Like, you know, sometimes you forget how long I've been down here and I'm like, cool, this ain't your fucking second time doing this, bro.
Well,
let's fucking adjust.
I think we've talked about it. I hate all the parts of running a business, basically, except for what I actually do.
And there's
with
still things that I'm trying to get set up, but like,
I don't want to do paperwork.
All that
sucks. No. I work on cars, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like that part is a total drag. It's a drag. It's like,
and there's still things I'm trying to set up on that just to make it easier and better. And eventually I'm just going to, like, that'll be one of the first jobs I want to give someone is that.
Yeah.
Just, here you go.
If I could just
Here you go.
Well, you know.
I would pay for that over
but these days you're going to have to pay somebody $28 an hour to do that shit for you.
But I'm saying is if there was an expense that I would put out, that one. There you go.
That'd be a good one. Yeah, it would help you, and it would take a lot of that clouding off your head.
I'm like even like paying attention to like there's like shit nobody thinks about too is like you're paying attention to like when my trademark runs out. And like, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that, like stuff way started.
Yeah, I just got an email about my hosting. It's like, oh yeah, I gotta pay that.
Yeah, like just stupid stuff. Whoops, whatnot. Have you been able to get out and go riding or anything?
Well, I'm a fair weather rider for sure. Yeah, I don't do that shit when it's cold. I'm like a life above 60, life below 60 kind of guy.
So what do you do in the winter?
In the wintertime, for physical activity,
just anything.
Shit, just
my
job is definitely physical. So that keeps me moving at least. We have a rowing machine at home, which is cool.
Yeah.
Haven't been using it much lately. Guilty as charged. It is what it is. But have been just trying to stay focused on keeping the work going. Summertime is when I get to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Wintertime is more like, let's actually relax. You know, we got the house. We got stuff that we want to do inside. Lately, we've been like painting and just, you know, trying to do inside projects. It's cold as shit outside.
Do you like living over here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Only thing, there's have you read about the sludge thing that they're trying to do?
No,
dude,
please inform me.
They're trying to dump like a Class B bio fucking waste like right near us. They purchased some land and it's like right by, you know, where they do like the township fair out there and shit on 191.
I believe so.
You know what I'm talking about? Like you get past Belfast police barracks and all that stuff, and then you get out there and there's like
I took the Grom out that way. There's some excellent riding out there.
So like I guess the land is near there and they're going to be trying to dump sludge, which is like human waste, I guess, with like the water removed. You know what I mean? It's like been processed a little bit, but like they need to lay the solids somewhere. That's my understanding of it. I could be totally wrong on that, and
makes sense to me.
I'm fucking sorry, but still,
I don't care if you're wrong. I'm still telling everyone it's that.
We got some signs, you know, that say don't dump on us because they want to do that, and that would affect all of us. You know, there's farms nearby, and it would affect definitely our well water and shit like that because it all goes down, and then we are gonna get the water from down there. You know, it's bad enough we're by the quarry. We got some hard water, boy. We got some hard water. There's a lot of rocks and minerals in that bad boy. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
that's where we live. But other than that, I love living up here. You know, being close to the goat.
So what do you have to do with the sludge stuff? Do you got to go to like town meetings?
Well, I think that's what's going to need to be done. Ultimately,
yeah, will you go? I went to a couple around here when there was like too much violence going on. I would absolutely go.
I don't want that crap going on. They're going to be doing that right by where the kids play games, like ball games. They're going to be doing that right by where the fair is. Like
when there's stuff that's like that loud, like I started attending stuff down there and speaking up in those meetings.
All the neighbors have the
crazy.
signs.
It's like a TV show.
Yeah.
But sometimes you need to attend that shit.
Yeah. So I don't know if anybody lives in the Plainfield Township area, but that's what they're looking to do.
That's crazy. I didn't know any of that shit.
I think they've been trying to do it for years too. Like they've been trying to get it to go, and like people have been knocking it down. But like they'll keep trying that until one day you don't show up to vote it down. Like they'll keep doing that shit. So whatever has to be done, if anybody wants to get involved with that shit, you drive by 191. I'm sure you've seen the signs that say "Don't dump on us," man. That's.
Can you walk to the goat?
I could. Would I? No, there are better options. I would take the rail trail to the goat. I would fucking take the rail trail because the rail trail is across the street from my house. So
you can take the rail trail there if you wanted to.
Yeah, I would just hop on the bike. Yeah. You know? Yeah. If it was dog friendly, I could put the doggo in the trailer that I got for him. Got a trailer.
Yeah.
That shit's cool. It's cool. I bought it off my buddy Sean, and I made like I modified the bottom, put some pillows and blankets in there, made it like a bed for him, and took the seats out because it's made for kids. Yeah. And now it's for a doggo. So he rides in that thing, and it's cool, man. That's one thing I'm looking forward to when it gets warmer out, is being able to take him out on more trips, because he's not really good on the leash as far as being on the rail trail when he sees other dogs. He's all right with people, but like when it's other dogs, he just turns into a nutcase. It just is what it is. He's a great dog. Anybody that's met the dog is like, oh, he's the best. He's awesome. But for some reason, when he's on a leash and he sees another dog coming at him, it's not mean. It's not even aggression. He just pulls, and he wants to go say what's up. Really, and it's just annoying. Yeah, it's not like there are fights going on, but it's like this is just a terror. So I like to take him and get him far away from where people are, and walk him there. You know what I mean? Like that's what we really want to do with him for his walks. You know,
that's cool. Yeah. But that area over there connects to a lot of stuff too.
It sure does.
You're close to Jacobsburg, and then there's that rail trail runs out, and then I think it like links up with Bushkill, and then goes actually higher too.
I would love for them to connect it down in Tatamy. Yeah, because you can't take it all the way down to where.
No, how would you have to do that then? You would have to go from Tatamy to, because it doesn't keep going then,
honestly,
does it?
It runs out right after Widows. Like Widow's Tavern.
Yeah,
the bike
that's
path
right.
kind of just stops, right? Like right on that block, 2 blocks back or whatever. It just stops. And I asked a local one day when I just moved in like the first spring, and I was riding, and I'm like, hey, do you know if the bike path continues somewhere? And she was like, no, it doesn't. I'm like, well, that's fantastic.
So you would have to ride in that traffic.
Sullivan Trail. And then go down to...
by the golf course, right? Past the goat?
Main Street, Tatamy.
Yeah.
You'd have to take that to Sullivan Trail, get all the way up that hill past the railroad tracks where the Weiss is and the bank, and the airport there, and then you'd have to crank it right, and then you can pick it up down where the creek is.
Oh, all right.
You can pick the rail trail up right there where, there's that industrial building there and the creek and the bridge. Right at the bridge, there's a little parking lot, and you can pick up the rail trail there. That you can take all the way into Easton, Palmer, Bethlehem Township, all the way out to Allentown. And if they would continue it past Allentown, you can get all the way up to like Ironton, Scranton, whatever.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, but it's not complete.
No.
I read that somewhere within this money that they're supposed to get for the infrastructure, that we're supposed to get some money for that bike path. I think we're going to get something for that. So I don't know where they're going to extend it.
So they plan on fixing it or extending it?
The DNL Trail is a pretty big deal, I guess. A lot of people use it, and they wanted to connect further. So I'd be happy with that because I have to basically ride in circles. You know what I mean? Because I can do a lap all the way around Easton, but at one point you have to get on a road. There's at one point where they didn't connect it. It's 13th Street. You can take it from, downtown Easton all the way out to, Allentown, whatever. But like at one point, if you're on one of the legs down off by the Silk Mill down there, on 13th Street, pops out there, but it doesn't connect across the street. You have to like go up 13th and then down Bushkill along the main road. It's not the best. You're riding on a shoulder, and you can pick it up by Binney and Smith.
That'd be fun to do next summer.
It's fun. I told you I'd take you on that route. You just need to get your damn.
I wonder how
back.
long it would take you to do from. I don't know. Like, what would you do? Would you go from Tatamy and then go? You know what I mean? Like, spend
if you
want
to have a good ride with me, it'll probably be like 30, 35 miles, and we'll crush from Tatamy, and we'll pick a leg, probably swing it east and go downtown Easton, and then take the long way back out to Palmer, Bethlehem Township.
I'd really be into doing that because I want to do the long format hike across the Appalachian Trail. I want to start in Wing Gap, and I want to hike to Point Phillips and get a beer. So like even doing like that long form riding, now that we're talking about doing it, like that's awesome cardio and stuff that I can get, because it's not going to be. It's going to be easy to do that trail, and I've done every section. It's just it has to be planned out. You have to have enough water.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like you have to have cardio.
You should have some stuff for your bike too if you're going to go that far. You should have tubes and whatever else.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to get stuck either calling somebody for a ride or whatnot. So like I've been obsessed with doing a chunk of, and I know it's not going to stop there, but like that chunk of the Appalachian I've been obsessing of doing for like the last 2 years. And then the last 2 times I went out, and I ran into a bear and I ran into a weirdo. And then I was like, okay, now I know how to handle those situations, because I wasn't.
Which was more difficult, the weirdo or the bear?
The bear. The bear was, I hyperventilated. I had an asthma attack. I did everything wrong. So if I was in that situation again, I didn't do everything wrong, but at one point I turned my back to him.
You're still here. You didn't do everything wrong.
So like I turned my back to him for a second, and then that was a nightmare, knowing I had to turn around and not knowing if he was running at me. So like that wasn't fun.
Isn't that one of the things you're really not supposed to do?
No,
it's like
but
high on the list.
I was backing up, and then the bear was out of my vision, and then I turned around, and then I said, you still shouldn't have turned around. It wasn't like I just was like, fuck, and ran. Like I backed up slowly. The bear never saw. He's probably smelled me.
Oh, he knew you were there.
Yeah. But so when I went around the corner, we were both blind to each other. And then I turned and walked, and I was like, turn back around. Then I turned and just walked backwards. And then when I was far enough where there was a blind spot between that and the bear, that's when I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? Yeah. And then the weirdo was more, not a weirdo. We ran into a guy, and the first thing out of his mouth was, I was with Aquila, and the first thing out of his mouth was, I've been on the mountain for too long. And then I was like, hey, that's a red flag.
I heard you say that.
Yeah. So then now looking back on that, and while I was in that situation, I was well aware that it could got weird, because we went back out on the trail, and when me and Aquila were like 2 miles into the woods where there was nobody, no sound, no nothing, he came up hiking on us like pretty fast, but he was trying to pick up his time, but that could have been something else. And then I'm like, you're out in this trail in the middle of nowhere. So like now that I've ran into a weirdo and a bear, I'm like, cool, I'm going to bring bear spray, and like, you know what I mean? Like now it's like these things have happened. Let's start hitting this. And I know that's not going to be the last time for any situations like that, but I feel like I take going up there very seriously, and I take running into those situations 100% serious, because that could have went totally wrong in either situation.
That could have gone awry. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
oh God, if that guy would have came back and like pulled out a knife and like, dude, the first thing out of his mouth was, I didn't process what I've been on the mountain too long meant till he started telling us how long he was out there, and you could tell, like, you know, he was missing people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's like, I haven't
He's like me. He's like me at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
one of
like,
those hot days in the summer where I work overnight.
Yeah.
And I don't see people. I just sleep during the day and I go into my shop at night to try and beat some of the heat. It's like,
yeah.
Who am I? You know, after a week of that, you're like, who the fuck am I?
Yeah, you start questioning
it's
shit.
Weird, man. Yeah, the only people you know are the gas station clerks.
Yep.
Like,
You're just talking to them to make conversation at that point.
Yeah, and it's honest. It's true.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? We see each other enough.
Dude,
what's up with
I got a great rapport with Mike over at the Friendly Mart. Man, that's my dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
No, when you always run into people, especially who do their job awesome.
It's like every day. You know, you see these people like every day. You can't help but just, you know, make friends with them at some point if they're cool. Yeah. Some people maybe not. You know, depends on, you know, where you're at in town. Like if you're at an East Side Allentown gas station, chances are you're not getting much conversation out of the guy behind the register. It's just the way it is.
He doesn't enjoy his job.
No, he doesn't enjoy you being there either.
No.
It's just what it is.
Nope.
You know? He wants to go back to his phone call on his Bluetooth device. It's just
so awesome.
It's like, whatever, give me 20, man. 26, 20 on 6.
Thank you, bye.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.
I would love to go on those bike rides, though, that long format shit. I don't know. There's just something appealing about going out. And I think what it is me seeing how inconsistent things are being, that if I do long format, it's like at least I'm enjoying it that long.
Yeah, well, that's the only
thing. Like, instead of going to the gym, I'll be like, oh, cool, I need to get in and out. And I'm like, the one day I went last week, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be here again. So I'm going to do an hour of cardio. I'm going to sit in the sauna because that's what I'm paying for. Yeah. And I want to go swimming.
Yeah.
And if I do that one time, awesome.
You're paid for it.
But if I did 10 minutes, I'd be like, cool.
Not so much. But that's what's great about bikes, and I've always loved that about bikes. Been riding them since I was a kid, and it's been one of my... Did you hear that crack? That was my knee.
Ooh.
Yeah, buddy. They do that shit. Always rode bikes. It was like my favorite pastime. Took up almost all my spare time when I could. It's fucking free, Mike. It's free. So you want to take these long format rides, it's one of the greatest ways that you can occupy.
Yeah. I'm always jealous watching Nat do it.
Yeah. Nat covers miles. He crushes, dude.
I see some of the cool shit
ever. Him and Looney.
Crushing hot dogs out in the middle of nowhere.
Man. It's insane. Yeah. But and my buddy, my best friend Adam, he crushes miles too, dude. Adrock, the hair.
Yeah.
Dude, he really puts down the miles too. He's living down in Philly, and he's got one of them carbon fiber bikes. He's all out with it now. You know what I mean? And it's good for him. Like, it's an awesome hobby to be. What the fuck? You could be a video.
It's crazy. It's crazy watching some of those dudes not stop.
Yeah,
like, not stop. The weather doesn't matter.
Absolutely. Yeah, they just go. He's riding it. It's so cold.
Yeah, they just change the tires. Like, bundle up.
No,
I'm
not
like,
me,
good
dude.
for you,
I'm fair
dude.
weather all the way. I used to ride all year long, and it's like, that is miserable, man. But like, it's consistent. It's free. You have the bike. I
try and get the hikes in. I try and get the hike, especially with Jacobsburg when you're talking about free stuff. Like the fact that I'm literally 6 minutes away from walking into some of the coolest parts of Jacobsburg. It's like, dude, you're not doing anyone any service if you're not like. I have the opportunity to go do that every morning, and like half the time I do it's just like. When I moved and didn't have that by me, I was like, man, you don't give a fuck that Jacobsburg is right there. Now it's like I get bummed when I'm not over there. And when my friend Katie, I used to go with her, I was like, you want to go in the winter? She's like, dude, it's so much cool. Like, dude, you go over to Jacobsburg in the winter and everything's dead.
It's different.
And you can see across it and you can see like where stuff grows in. It's like a different way of watching nature.
It's a whole new map.
Yeah. Oh. It's fucking crazy. I like it a lot. I like doing
cool,
that.
Man. I just don't like being cold anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that shit.
No, if it's 8 degrees and snow, and I'm not fucking going over there. But you can get your days where the winds.
Yeah.
But that's why I said fuck it. And I was like, I want to go swimming. LA Fitness has the fucking sauna. I was like, and you want to do cardio. So do that all summer.
I'm just always,
all winter.
I'm always stuck on, for past years, I'm stuck on like almost like a cheapskate vibe though. But like, it's for good reason. You've seen what shit is going for. You know what I mean? With inflation and everything, you got like people paying crazy dollar amounts over sticker price on brand new cars just because you can't get them. Like, $60,000 car going for $90K. This is, you can find this all over the internet.
I bought the van right as that was happening. Like I was talking to the car dealer people, and like I didn't know there was a shortage or what was going on. You heard about it, but then when you go to a car dealership and they explain what's going on and there's no cars, and everyone's just sitting around and they're like, we don't know what we're gonna do. We're just trying to buy up used vehicles.
Yeah.
Then you talk to the used car guys and they're like, no one ever bought up used vehicles. We were the only ones that sold used cars. And then it's like it literally trickled down. But I found the Transit, and the guy was willing to do what I wanted to do with it. But it's like if it would be me getting that Transit now, that sticker price would probably be 5 more up, and I wouldn't have had any leverage on doing shit.
5?
Dude, like
5?
Yeah.
Dude, more than that. Seriously, I've seen some crazy markups on cars, especially desirable ones, cool cars.
Well, the Transit, I didn't realize was going to be so hard to get until that was the same time everybody was going out fucking turning them into campers and doing all that shit. So, like, people weren't back to work.
Overlander lifestyle,
so,
right?
Like, so, like, and then schools were buying them because they couldn't get a hold of school buses. And like this dude was telling me, I'm like, I remember going and looking at Ford Transits when I didn't need a Ford Transit. And I remember going down the Ford and there was fucking 5 rows.
All of them.
There was new, used.
As far as you can see.
Every model that was, there was pointless to go on the app because every model was there.
Right.
And then I remember I drove through and they didn't have them anymore. But I didn't go in to talk to the guy. Then I went down to start looking at used ones in Doylestown and I was like, fuck. And then dude, it was 2 weeks and then I found one in Scranton, and then the guy was cool and we went through the whole thing that I wanted to do and he was all about it. And then after that I was like literally 2 months away from being totally fucked on having anything.
Knock these down a little bit.
Yours?
Yeah.
You have to turn it with underneath the table. The first knob on your left.
First knob on my left. I'll figure this out.
It's the very first knob. All the way on the left, the very first knob.
I don't feel any knobs. Fuck it, I'll survive.
If you go, put your hand on top of it. See it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Got it.
See how it goes up and down there? Yeah.
Nice. I didn't realize I had the power here.
Yeah. No, that was the only thing I used to do on the show.
Yeah.
100%.
That's fucking great. But, with the way things are with pricing, houses, cars, everything else in the world is more expensive. I'm trying not to spend my money on shit, man. Like, I'm trying to talk with my bucks. Like, prices will come down if people don't give into that shit. Like, if you can hold back and not have to stunt on your boys and get that new Challenger or Bronco or whatever the fuck you're after that you're paying way too much money for at this point. If you can just hold back, I feel like things will get back to normal a little bit quicker, where we can have a little bit more buying power. I don't know, maybe.
What's crazy though is that
hold back, man. Like I'm not trying to. I don't pay retail for nothing, and then pay more than that. I try not to pay retail for anything. Try to work a deal however you can. You try and save wherever you can, right? And then you got people voluntarily paying crazy numbers over stuff for houses, cars, shoes, watches, NFTs. You fucking name it. It's like.
Do you get into that world ever?
Fuck no, man. No, I'm not into that stuff. I'd rather just work. I bank on myself. You know what I mean? All that stuff.
Do you follow it? Do you know what it is? Like Bitcoin,
I know what
NFTs,
is. I know what they are. I know how beneficial NFT technology can be to us as far as keeping things like your mortgage or like your car title secure and like all these things. It has so many applications where NFT can be useful and really beneficial. But I just don't buy into the pictures aspect of it right now. I don't really think that buying a picture of a monkey is going to be the ultimate hustle. You know what I mean? I think that market's probably going to flop out.
I don't understand NFT, and I don't understand that. So it's like, what does it do? Does it drive up the value? Can multiple people buy the picture? Or are you just buying the picture?
No, that is the inherent technology behind it. Multiple people cannot buy the same picture. It is truly under blockchain so that there is a sequence of ownership, and it's all digital, you know what I mean? But it's there. Only thing is, all that stuff's speculative. It's art. It's like the art community, you know what I mean? Like, who says this bunch of scribbles on a canvas is worth $3 million? Somebody thinks it's worth that. That's great. Just because somebody assigned that value to it doesn't mean that everything like it is worth that much money.
And people are paying actual US dollars for...
Well, they're not paying US dollars if you really think about it, because all those things are being purchased with cryptocurrency. So if they're getting purchased with cryptocurrency, you're not technically using US dollars. You're using what something could be equivalent to in US dollars, right? because each of those coins has a value, but
now
it
I see
fluctuates.
what people are trying to do with NFTs, and I think the whole thing's stupid.
I think it's borderline Ponzi scheme on some of this, but
Yeah.
not the technology.
But now that
not
I
the
know
technology, but the way people are using it
Yeah.
right now, like this pump and dump kind of thing, almost like these celebrities pump the thing, and then it gets all the bros really excited to like be investors, but like. Bro, are you an art investor? Were you an art investor before this? Don't talk about investing now. It's a fucking picture of a monkey or a snail or whatever the hell else these collections are. No disrespect to anybody that's doing it. If you're making your paper, that's great, right? You're making some money. It's all about a hustle. All these things are. All these stocks, futures, whatever. It's all a hustle. It's all a gamble. That's great if you're winning, but like, I wouldn't bank money that I don't have on that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you have it and you're willing to lose it, great. That's what anything is. You can go
I just
to
feel
casino
like
and let that shit ride
I just feel like
too,
it still
but-
falls in that world of like Bitcoin and like with all the stock stuff with GameStop and all that stuff does. Like I feel like there's this loud noise that yes, if you dig into it, you can make money.
Yeah.
But that's also the same way as if I wanted to get into the stock market or go gambling, like I would already be trying to make money in these versions of like a Ponzi scheme or like what you said. I'd rather work. That's how it's always been for me.
I bank on myself.
I don't, and it's not. Maybe it's because I don't understand that hustle enough. But I've never been one to get into the stock market. I've never been one to get into high risk, like high risk situations like that where you have an opportunity to make a lot of money, but I always just didn't want to lose what I had in order to like, you know what I mean? Like some
I
of
work
that
too
stuff
hard
is like,
to get what I have
it's like
to
big
buy
risk
in.
stuff.
Like I hate losing $50 on slot machines. Like I got off the plane in Vegas and there's slot machines in the airport.
Yeah.
I walked over and I was like $20. Which is
And like, there's just so many things I don't.
I lost it all in 2 minutes.
I don't
Great.
understand
Wonderful.
is like-
I hate that feeling, man. I work hard for that shit.
One
So-
of the fighters took, or maybe it was a football player, a baseball player, took a portion of his salary in Bitcoin.
I saw that.
and it was like
Oh, he's
$750,000.
beat now it's like 37 grand.
Yeah, and then I was just
Yeah.
like, to me, that's too much of a drop off.
Yeah, well, Bitcoin in the past, I think it's been 30 days. Bitcoin, because I have a little bit of Bitcoin just because I have some of those things. So like,
For sure.
you buy a couple dollars of it here, or whatever. I don't have any significant amount of that shit. It's Bitcoin a month ago was $62,000 a coin. Now,
But I feel
30
like-
days later, it's like 35.
Yeah, and this is what was going on.
35,000, not 35. That'd
Because
be a hell of a
I
drop,
worked
but
with
just to
somebody who
clarify.
was big into Bitcoin,
Yeah.
and he was pushing the boundaries of it and trying to do more, and was like trying to travel overseas and do all this shit,
Mm-hmm.
and it would go up, and then like I do believe it went up, and there was people making real money and everything.
Yeah.
But now we're back to where you were 4 fucking years ago when you were telling me to invest in this shit, and it just seems to be the same thing where it goes up and then fucking crashes.
It would
oh,
play
hold
with
on
my
to it.
emotions so hard, dude. I
It'd
would
be like
be
doing
stressed.
blow.
Yes.
Like-
It would be like watching that movie Uncut Gems.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
just
yeah,
constantly
yeah,
racing
yeah.
like, oh my God, we're on
I'm
a
not
high.
built for that
Everything's
shit.
going to
I'm
be
not
great.
built for that
We're
shit.
going up to the moon, right? To the moon. Imagine you never cashed out. You've never made your Bitcoin actual
Yeah.
U.S. money. You've never cashed out. It's not U.S. liquid currency that you can touch.
Yeah.
It's still just Bitcoin. You're all around the fucking world gallivanting doing those plans, right? Because you're like, I'm rich. I have 17 Bitcoin. I have,
yeah.
all this money, right? Think about that. And then suddenly, overnight, it crashes out and your Bitcoin's worth like $6.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck, I'm stuck in Zimbabwe. I know it's far-fetched, but think about that shit. You know what I mean? That's how volatile something like that is. I don't think the US dollar is going to drop out on you that fast, but for a 30-day change, for something to half in value, granted the value is astronomical still,
Yeah.
30-some thousand dollars per coin right now at this time, when a month ago it was 60-some thousand. It's crazy to think I'd be losing my shit. I'd be losing my shit. Say you got multiples of those and your fortune is fluctuating that much, that frequently, dude, I'd be having a heart attack.
Plus,
I
there's
just don't
too many-
have the
there's too
what
many
do they call that? The bandwidth?
There's like too
I don't
many
have the
unanswered
bandwidth
things
for
with.
that.
I know when it first came out, when I first started hearing about Bitcoin, and it was like Amazon was about to use it. A lot of people were about to start taking Bitcoin, and then that.
Well, I think that's here to stay.
That shit dropped. That people were using Bitcoin to buy kids on the Silk Road, and then that completely stopped major corporations and everyone from being like, "Hey, man, like we're not really using this to buy things right now."
I gotta clarify. People used Bitcoin to buy every single thing ever
Yeah.
transacted on
Yeah.
the Silk Road, and that is why the Silk Road had such great success until Ross.
No, I watched that documentary. Was
Dude,
fucking
yeah,
awesome.
that was crazy. I was into that years ago when it was actually like a
I have a
current
friend
thing. I was
who went
like, oh
on
my
it.
God, this is crazy. And
Yeah.
now I was like, back then I was Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I guess it'll be a thing someday, but like I don't know.
But I think that black
I wish
eye,
I had no.
I feel like that black eye didn't commercialize it to what it would be. It's our new bank. You
Well,
know what
yeah,
I mean?
But you got to think, how much is a government or an IRS type entity going to want a decentralized currency?
Look
to
what they're doing
exist?
with Venmo already.
Exactly. So, like, how long are they going to let you run around with your Bitcoin gains? You know what I mean?
They're
Like,
not.
They're not going to want that to be even in existence. And I think that's going to be a struggle for people who want to really be adopters of that technology. I'm not poo-pooing on Bitcoin at all.
No.
It's the one that's been here and prominent and prevalent. It's been here to stay for a long time, like a decade now, I think, right? When did the Silk Road happen? The bust with Ross Ulbricht.
Yeah.
That was like 2013, right? It was a long time ago, was
Yeah.
it not? So think about that. It's been around. Bitcoin's been around. Ethereum, all these other coins, Solana, whatever, they're all newcomers as far as I'm concerned. Not to say there isn't money to be made with them, but I don't know if they will be lasting entities such as Bitcoin, because that's had staying power. It just
I
has.
really want, and I had somebody. I ran into him at the dentist office, and he was like, "Hey, I listened to the show," and I was like, "Cool,
Sick.
That's
awesome, though.
One that doesn't happen much ever, let alone awkwardly in a dentist office.
Yeah.
2 blocks from the studio.
Yeah, that's cool,
And he's
though.
like, hey, if you would ever want to bullshit about Bitcoin and all this stuff, he's like, I'd come on the show. And anytime anybody presents that to me, and I know that you know what you're talking about. I would love to be well informed on it, but I'm
not very well
No, that's what I'm
informed.
saying.
There are probably going to be people hitting me in my DMs when this comes out. Be like,
You
"You're
don't
a fucking
answer 'em,
idiot."
bro. Fuck
I don't
those
really
people.
answer them much. You're right. So fuck it. Whatever. No.
No, but I'm just
I
saying
don't
is
mean
like
that, but-
I'm not opposed to any of this. I'm also like in this other world where I'm not paying attention to that shit. Like even like gaming, like I see myself
I can't game
separating
anymore.
from gaming. Like I keep it very simple anymore because I don't have time to do it.
I can't even look at those things.
But,
Those
like-
shooter games give me headaches.
But what
I
I'm
can't
saying
do
is
it.
like where the technology is going, and like with Oculus and like
yeah.
Meta and all that stuff, like that's cool. But like I don't have time to look into that at
Yeah,
all.
what was it? JM posted that shit the other day. He was like, "Yeah, fucking kids 30 years ago, don't sit too close to the TV."
Yeah,
and like kids
now
in
they got 'em on
2022,
your-
yeah, they got the fucking wearing it on their face. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense. I think my eyesight was seriously diminished when I was sitting in front of a computer screen.
Absolutely. That's the only
Every
reason I'm
single
wearing
day.
glasses.
Absolutely. I never needed glasses
Pam
until
Anderson
I was
late
in
night,
front of a
that bright
computer
light,
every single
baby.
day for years when I was doing Votech and all that.
Yeah.
And just coming up in the social media world when we had like Zanga and like LiveJournal and MySpace.
Do you remember when you had to go home to get on your MySpace?
I do. I do. Remember when MySpace actually existed, though?
Yeah,
'Cause
it was cool the
doesn't-
first
Well, I
round, and then
think it might
they
still be a
ruined
thing,
it
but-
with fucking when you could like put music
It was
on
music
it.
videos.
like,
Then that was
change
it was
shit.
mostly just for like music artists
Yeah.
at one point. Like they
Yeah,
tried to
yeah,
make it
yeah,
like
yeah.
the Vivo.
Dane Cook blew up on that.
Dane Cook worked the shit out
Yeah.
of that, but I wish we could hear more from him. But his story is really tumultuous as far as like his brother and like
He came
family
on
and-
well when anytime he pops on any podcast that I check out, I do his older stuff. I don't listen to any of his new stuff, so I don't know if it's any good. But his old stuff, when that first came out, that fucking CD where he's fucking had got his face on it yelling, like dude, that shit, that was an awesome
That stuff
fucking
used to
comedy
have me
album,
rolling, man.
That was the first time in a long time I sat people down and said, you got to listen to this.
Yeah,
dude.
that was like
Yeah.
that.
But that's also nothing was connected back
He
then.
was the
It was,
first
but it
person to do that to me with like an album setting since Adam Sandler with like What the Hell Happened to Me. You know, we used to sit back and listen to What the Hell Happened to Me over and over again with the farting hypnotist and talking goat, all that stuff. You know what I mean?
driving around listening to Adam
Right, exactly.
Sandler
We listened to
CDs.
that crap, and it was just so funny. We were dumb and young, but it's still
Yeah.
probably funny to this day. Just
You had to go get music. You couldn't have it immediately.
Right, but like Dane Cook was one of the first people
Yeah.
that ever did that to me. Ever since
He did.
since
He
that point.
played the shit
So,
out of colleges and shit
yeah,
too.
he knew how to work that circuit really well, and props to him for because he got huge.
Yeah.
Dane Cook was like what Kevin Hart is, except he didn't. I don't know if he had like a production company and all that stuff back then, but
he still has a following and shit. Like I followed him on social media for a while, but it just wasn't me. Like it wasn't it's not my style of humor anymore. Because he grew up, but like he's still like doing his own thing. But yeah, when he goes on, like I think he was on Your Mom's House, and like they did like a real interview with him because it was comics talking. But like for him to explain all that shit that happened with his brother, it's fucked up when people tell those stories.
Yeah, man, it hurts when you think about your family doing
Yeah.
you that fucking dirty, like millions of dollars. You think about like that, like your people love you. Like,
I know one of
do
Kevin
that?
Hart's friends did that shit to him.
Yeah,
like a computer.
I think a lot of people have
yeah.
gone through that shit. Snakes in the grass, you know, trying to take your money, but like, man, to the tune of how much his brother got him for, with like, because he was in charge of shit.
They put his brother in jail though. Yeah, that's got to be fucked up too.
Oh my god. Like, my sister's, you know, big up at a bank. I couldn't even possibly think of that like being our situation where it's like, I'll let you work my money and you did this to me, now go to jail. Like, no way, dude. That's got to be such a mind fuck for him to have to think about every day. He wakes up, it's like, well, my brother's still in jail, you know, for taking all my money, never coming back.
That's fucked up.
Click the heels together and let's get rocking, Dane. Like, that's wild to me. But he's had hell of a life, man.
What do you listen to? Do you listen to primarily podcasts? Do you get into any talk radio? You still fuck with Stern or anything like that?
I haven't listened to Stern in so long, dude. That dude jumped a shark.
I can't believe he's still doing radio.
That dude jumped a shark. He's so fucking lame. That dude's such a ninny now. Oh my God. He used to be so awesome to listen to. He was the reason I paid money for satellite radio when I got a car that could handle it. And like,
do you remember when you used to have to run the antenna?
Yeah, I do remember that
fucking
shit.
magnet for
I remember
XM.
that. Yeah, dude, because we used to get trade-in cars and people would leave that shit on and be like, yo, those handheld sets that were in your car, they get lifetime. So if you could take that home,
have a whole drawer, a whole fucking
saying
drawer
if you can get them to get reception, typically they will just work.
That's crazy. I didn't even think about that.
At least it used to be that way.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I liked XM. I liked it before the merge. I liked XM over Sirius.
Yeah.
At that time, because that was when they had the punk channel and they used to actually play, like, it was unheard of to hear Bad Religion on the regular radio.
Yeah, but now you can hear.
Yeah. Now, I mean, they ruined. Like I said, everything gets ruined. It gets stepped on. People make money.
Stern was always his own.
Yeah, that was
thing.
always the hope that it wouldn't get ruined.
And now, like, the content is just whack, and especially once
for years they didn't even have content. It was just reruns.
Right. And like, whenever they do, all right, dude, not everybody's in the car all day. Most of us have a time frame in the morning and a time frame in the evening, maybe even something at lunch if you're one of those people that gets in your car and leaves during lunch, or I used to sit in my car for my whole lunch because I don't want to be bothered by it.
Oh my God, I forgot about doing that at jobs.
Oh my God, it's a long hour, you know what I mean? But whatever, it's fine.
What if someone accidentally just gets in your car and ruins your lunch?
But anytime that they're not on a live broadcast, I notice with Stern, you know, on the 2 channels that he has, he's playing reruns.
Yes.
But they're always playing the same fucking rerun from like that week. So it's like, guys, I would love to hear like Burt Reynolds from like 1999 or like, you know, whatever interview you could throw up here. But now they play like the same segments over and over again for any time they're not on the live.
It makes
thing.
you
for
wonder.
Me, that really just killed it. Always hearing the same thing when I got in the car at the same time.
It makes you wonder how real the listening numbers are. How does that still have a following?
They say he's still a big presence on their listeners, you know, their count. So.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's nuts.
I think you've got diehards. Man.
I also didn't like him, though, because he took up a budget and then they were losing good content because they had to pay him more money every year.
Yeah, well, I don't know about all that shit, but I know that...
I do know that happened. I didn't like that. He pushed other shows I liked out.
So he could make...
Yeah, because they're at the end of it, okay, well, if this show's awesome and it's on Faction and they have a following, and I'm like, yeah, that's a dope show from some guy creating something cool, and then they're like, hey, we got to pay him fucking $100,000 extra this year. They're like, well, Stern needed money. That was like the big headbutt with Opie and Anthony too, and I was always Opie and Anthony.
Sucks. And he's not that great anymore to really command that shit.
Yeah,
like honestly, especially once he went into quarantine, the content went so downhill. Dude.
So what were they doing in quarantine? It was just them.
It was them like in their basements with these like Zoom setups.
I hate Zoom.
And, like, the sound was off. It was tinny and shit. And I'm like, I can't listen to this crap. And plus, it's just like it's just Howard, and he's just whining about whatever and COVID and all that, and it's like, shut the fuck up.
I hate Zoom.
Like,
I hate Zoom podcasts.
I want to listen to laugh. I don't want to listen to how paranoid Howard Stern is about his takeout order that he gets the same thing of every night from the same restaurant of his life. I don't give a shit about how paranoid he is about the germs that might be coming in with his eggplant parm. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was every day with him harping on that shit and like, you know, these people that aren't wearing the masks and all this stuff. I'm like, all right, I get it. People have discrepancies about what other people are doing, but like, I come here to kind of escape that shit. And he just kind of kept on with it, and it was like, I gotta stop with him. And I haven't looked back, honestly.
So what do you fuck with?
Fuck with podcasts. Your podcast is great. Bing.
No, I know you're always listening because sometimes you'll text me about it, but that also, like, makes me give a shit about the audio audience.
Well, yeah, I'm in the headphone cans all day long. I prefer high quality audio. I will not listen to something if it has garbage audio.
There's been massive, like, huge Chris Hardwick's podcast. I was like, I love Chris Hardwick. I'll get into Chris Hardwick's podcast.
Bill Burr.
Yes, Bill Burr's
podcast was like, it sounded like he was, hello, I'm in my bathroom.
Yeah.
You know, like, it sounds stupid. I don't know, like, dude, I can't listen to it. I just can't.
Yeah.
Joey Diaz was even bad for a while. You know, it sounded like he was doing it on like his iPhone, and I think he probably was.
Yeah,
That's
and good on you, but I don't listen to shit
but
like that.
I don't want to support my ears that way. I want to give my ears something better during the day. You know what I mean?
No, I
It's
can't
just-
listen to.
I can't listen
I don't
to
know.
it. So
I like listening to good music.
I
like
also fuck with
listening to-
Audible heavy.
yeah.
I listen to Audible a lot because I love books. I love words, but I can't physically sit down with a book. I work long hours, and this allows me to just pick a book and go and just digest it while I'm working.
Yeah,
And then
it's pretty much like a podcast.
It is. It's a super long format podcast. Yeah, it's awesome. But like, you have to walk that line too, because sometimes the audio sucks on some of the older Audible recordings.
Yeah.
Sometimes the narrator is just plain hot
Awful.
garbage.
Awful.
It's terrible. Like they picked the wrong person for it, or somebody that just has really bad like
Cadence.
fake accents or cadence or any of that stuff. And I'm not saying I got a perfect voice and that people would want to listen to me, but it's like, if I can choose when I'm paying, you think about an Audible credit, what it costs you to read a book. It's like, man, I don't want to listen to something for 35 hours.
I rotate.
That voice,
Yeah.
you know? So I wish they would do better on that front. Like, because you can go in the comments and that shit in Audible, and like people trash the narrators. They're like, great book, terrible person reading it. Please change this. Please please update it with a new person reading it.
Sometimes they do it.
Yeah, sometimes they might do it. One good, like Matthew McConaughey's book, I bought that shit a long time ago when it came out, Green Lights. Listening to him talk for like however many hours, that was great.
Yeah.
That was just great. Just listen, hey. You know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely.
I like that. I like when the person who wrote it,
I like production behind shit too. Like, I don't like, you know, when I'm listening to podcasts and stuff, I've always enjoyed that. It was one of my favorite things about Rogan's show was it was highly produced audio.
Right.
So it's like, you know, that's what I always liked doing. And then when you start getting used to listening to that and you come off that, you know, and that's like, I just like people holding it to a standard too, where it's like, cool, I put in the time to get the equipment.
Yeah.
I'm not just fucking doing Zoom calls and banging 12 out in a day and I got all this
Yeah.
podcast. Like, put some fucking work
you can do
into
better
it.
than that. It's like
Yeah.
it's like a DJ.
Even if you have
it's
a
like
following, it's even worse.
Right. It's like a DJ being at the bar and he's playing those 96 KBS fucking MP3s that you used to download for space savings. Like, oh, I got to put this on my little Diamond Rio MP3 player. Like, no.
I went to
No, like you get full quality, you get lossless shit.
Yeah.
You're playing it on big speakers. You want it to sound good. The same thing as your podcast sounds good. You know, other high production podcasts sound good. Some of them they're making good money and it sounds like dog shit.
Yeah.
Like even like Steve-O's sometimes will sound like crap.
Yeah. I can't watch his video. His videos, like the room's too tight.
Yeah, and I'm like,
get claustrophobic.
I know you make a gang of money on this stuff, and I'm not hating on that, but it's like, do better with that, please. Do better with the money that I know you're making with these ad reads. And like the read. Oh my God, can we go on the reads for a second? People that can't read well, rehearse that shit.
I like when
Don't
Tim
do a
Dillon
live
just
read.
makes stuff up.
I know he's great because he just ad libs the shit out of it. It's off the cuff and he makes up stories and lies about it.
Yeah.
But like people who
He's my
can't,
favorite right
they
now.
can't get a cadence down when they're reading a written statement. They're like, you know, people that probably didn't do well when the teacher asked them to read aloud in class too. Like, I get it, not everybody, but like, dude, this is your job now. Now this is your job. Fucking put up or shut up and rehearse it, or like, don't make me listen to you like mispronounce shit and all. It's like, this is a professional production. I thought, you know what I mean? You're making some money off this. You got real deal sponsors, right? MeUndies is on your shit.
Yeah.
You know, like whatever. I don't know. I just expect a little bit more, and I love that when people actually provide that.
100%.
I get it's a free medium, and you can't really ask for much. It's free, but like I like when people go the extra mile. It's like any industry.
Yeah.
I like nice shit. That's why I try to do detailing an extra mile. I want to give people nice stuff. Always wanted to take it to that next place. And people that like luxury lifestyle products, you want that extra little bit. That extra 10% is what always costs you the most. you know? So
I also like watching podcasts. So when I started watching podcasts, it cut down on the amount I was paying attention to, because not everyone has video. But like I like tuning in and watching like Kill Tony is one of my favorite ones to watch. Like that's like, but now that's on every Monday. So like tonight I'm excited because I know that Kill Tony's on, and I'm like, oh, this is turning into like TV. Yeah. And like this is so like and that's what I'm pushing for. That's
what he wants too. He's pushing for that shit too.
So like, you know, when you have people that are creating that content, it's going to fall into that content category. Yeah. So to almost stand out in podcasting now, you almost have to produce television. It's going like backwards from what it was. The video
really needs to be there,
so like,
to keep people engaged. Like No Jumper, but all that stuff.
No Jumper's awesome, and you could tell too is like they put money into that, but it's like they have a very basic, like, this is our studio, we're No Jumper.
It's a room in like an office of a car garage,
and they're like, but they're also like networking off of it. Where that guy that JM posts all the time, that pimp dude's got a show on there now.
Sharp. Sharp's.
But like that show ain't bad.
No, it ain't bad. Sharp's interesting to listen to, man. He is, and he's got some wild game to throw down. But like, I like all that stuff. It's diverse.
Yeah.
The quality is there.
Actually, to sum it up, I like fucking with things that are a network. Like Your Mom's House is a network. No Jumper is a network.
It is.
The Joe Rogan Experience, a network. Like it's there's other things on the channel. So there's also stuff on No Jumper where they're doing like No Jumper news. I like it. Like,
but some of them I can't fuck with.
No, some of them suck. But like, I'm just saying, like, I like
young cats talk about like and they talk.
No, I don't watch,
like,
but I don't watch all of Rogan. I watched the Shane Gillis one with fucking Mark Norman's one of my favorite ever. Yeah. And then I also got into like the Carrot Top one because I just was like, I haven't seen or heard from Carrot Top and fucking.
That was great. That was
it was such a good podcast. And I love how he stuck up for him and was like, yo, why is everyone shit on you? Yeah. And then after he explained himself, I was like, I guess just everyone hates him because he looks so stupid.
But then you go back and like Joe will have like Beeple on.
Yeah. That guy that was a crazy podcast too.
But like you hear how many times he said the word like.
Yeah, but Rogan called him out. You can tell he was nervous.
But you combine that with how many times Joe Rogan says the word literally.
Yeah,
and you've got a fucking shit show on your ears, man. It is a mess listening to that podcast. And I was like, oh my god.
I jump around on that anymore.
Trying to keep count of this shit. That's one of my pet.
But I'll fall into fucking rabbit holes on like Spotify does it's a weekly playlist or something that they drop by like what you listen to the most. And like I've gotten so much music, and I'll leave that on. I'm like hearting stuff. So like I can heavily go down a good jukebox road. Then I'll go over to podcasting a little bit. I do not stop listening to music. Even when I go to sleep, I'm putting on white noise, but like there has to be something going the entire time. So
you fuck with white noise?
I have to.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm talking about white noise over and a fan. Like that's how busy my brain is.
I can be like a dead quiet, or
if
like
I smoke, I'm out. If I smoke, I'm out. I'm out cold. I get solid sleep. When I fuck with Liz's CBD tinctures, those things are a fucking godsend.
Yes, smoking has been a helper for me for years. You know, because when I was younger, I did stay up all night and I couldn't like sleep. Couldn't sleep that
I'm excited because I got my card. I'm gonna get into like the half CBD, half fucking THC, and like I really want to dial in
full
like
spectrum stuff,
like a fucking sleep potion. Like
you got to find a right thing that works for you, where you're not going to feel clouded or inhibited by
like
it or
that,
something.
like,
you know,
don't get me wrong. Like I'll get stuff to roll a joint, but I'm primarily got this to get sleep.
Yeah,
like I'm tired of not sleeping.
I
sleep like 4 fucking hours. I probably have sleep apnea. My back's fucking trashed.
Not sleeping. I'm so tired of not.
But my buddy's wife.
Yeah, it's true though.
My buddy's wife works at the one medicinary place, and I talked to her before I got it, and I was like, hey, like I really want to like dial this in. And she's like, she worked her way up, so like she has a fuck ton of information. So now I can go to a friend and feel comfortable and sit down and be like, can you please just explain how this works for me and how I'm going to be able to go to sleep? And I'm going to listen and do that. But I also have the privilege of relaxing if I want to. But primarily I got it for
honestly, the relaxing aspect of it, just with what you do and the things that I hear you when we talk, you go off and you're like
firing.
Right. You've got all this stuff to tell me, and I'm like, this is what's going on inside Mike's head all day long.
Yep.
So you need to be able to turn that off somehow. And drinking is not healthy.
No. You end up quitting drinking.
Drinking doesn't turn it off for you.
No, I mean, no, it does, but you have to black out.
But yes.
And then I had to quit drinking.
No, you don't want to do that.
No, not at all.
Fuck that. everybody got to have something that allows them to turn off, whether it's what do they call it? They sell that, melatonin?
Yeah.
You can buy melatonin.
I get
stuff, but
melatonin I build up a tolerance to. Liz's stuff, and I'm not just saying this shit because she's a sponsor. Like, Liz's stuff is the first time I started messing with CBD products that worked. And then, like, Liz makes her own shit. So, like, I can talk to her directly and she explains to me
that's good.
how that shit works. But, like, I've already taken people's CBD. You're like, hey, somebody's selling this CBD and it's just white label stuff that's floating around.
Yeah.
So like when
you've had enough info with that to know that you don't want to just buy the gas station shit.
No,
you know?
Yeah. So it's like when I got the info from her and started using the products, I was like, oh shit, like this works. I've gotten arguments with people since I've been like educated on CBD for people who are like CBD's. I'm like, no, it's not. Like it's real. Like it can relax you.
I found some benefits to it. The shit was just damn expensive.
Yeah,
it was damn expensive, and I was like, man, to add this in right now is like. I'm gonna just keep on rocking and rolling.
I use it. I'll always use it for sleep.
I should honestly just bite the bullet and incorporate some of that full time into. But like the stuff that I've tried, they've got rubs and balms.
Yeah.
They've got tinctures.
My dad fucks with that stuff. Tincture's the only thing. I'll fuck with the gummies. I like the Delta 8s.
One of the companies I got, I swear that shit was just icy hot.
Yeah.
It was just icy hot.
Well, a lot of it's white labeled.
Yeah. It's like, man, all right, so you got CBD in this, huh? Why does it smell like icy hot, feel like icy hot, and it tastes like icy hot too? Why is this? What have you done here? Like, how did you manage this? You probably just took icy hot, scooped it into your little couture jars, and here you go, sir.
That shit goes on.
Fuck that shit. I know. It happens in my industry, too. That's one of the things that Modesto prides themselves on.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I didn't even think, that does happen a lot.
That is a proprietary production. You know what I mean? It's all from step one completed within house. That's it. So it's like even down to the solvents that they use, they're producing, sourcing that shit. Like it's not... getting the cheapest stuff from XYZ company in whatever country and, all this stuff. And or just taking, we like this product that's out on the market by this big company. We like it. We want to use it. So we're going to grab it. We're going to give it to a chemist. We're going to white label it with our name then. You just basically reproduce it to the best you can. It's like, man, it's just not fair. I don't think. Like, that's like, I don't know. It's just biting off other people's shit.
Yeah.
I don't really like it. I mean, a lot of companies would sue you for it, but I don't know. I guess it's allowed to go on in some industries, and it's kind of just like an unspoken thing. You just let it rock. It doesn't really affect the big companies too much, I guess. If it got to a point where if it was taking major sales away from the company that they're ripping off, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you could be proven, but that's so tough to do, I guess. You have to put that effort in.
I don't know. A small niche.
It's not something I ever tried to do. I don't know much about how they would even go about doing it. It's not in my nature to try and rook somebody's shit like that and take their property and be like, this is mine now and I'm selling it under my name. Like that's like the same people to me as like the Supreme resellers. Like, oh yeah, you stood in line and you bought that shirt for
resellers.
Yeah, it's all the same shit.
Nike shoes.
I feel like that's where this metaverse shit is going. Is because 100%. They're running out of hustles.
Yeah, 100%.
All these people are telling, like, how many times you've been scrolling your Explore feed or whatever, and it's like a video of some fucking dude in the camera, and he's like, this is how I make all my money. I have all this stuff because I did this, and I put money into this, and I flipped it into these houses, and I did this, and I borrowed against that, and look, you can do this too. How many times can you tell people that they can do that shit before they start fucking doing it, and then the door starts closing? You know what I mean? Like, you can't have a hustle that lasts forever. Everybody got in on the arbitrage game. Everybody and their brother wants to buy low and sell high, right? You want to buy sneakers, watches, pictures of monkeys, fucking all this stuff. They just want to, everything's a hustle now. And I feel like that, I don't know, I'm probably totally wrong about this, but I almost feel like that's the hustle of the metaverse, is like, there's nothing left out here for you to hustle and grind on.
You're doing it inside.
So now we're selling you fake shit, and we're tricking you into doing it, and you motherfuckers are getting played like flutes. But they really are, I think.
They were talking...
not everybody's going to win.
Dana White was on the Nelk Boys podcast. I like seeing Dana White in a long-form podcast, especially if it's a good interview. And they were talking to him about the metaverse and how... I mean, the fact that he's on the Nelk Boys show shows that UFC is already starting to work with a younger crowd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've never watched their show. I've heard about it, but
some of their stuff's all right. Like, I like the guy Steve will do it, but he just does crazy shit. But how they're like, they're at every, like the other night when the fight was on, there was like TikTokers in the crowd, like not celebrities. But what I'm saying is like, they're already curving to that younger audience coming up as we're getting older.
Yeah.
So it's like when they were talking about the metaverse, like what the UFC's play is going to be is that they're going to do the fights there. So then, then he was like, well, what do you mean? And it's like, well, what are you buying? Well, if you have the headset on and then it's supposed to be like the complete layout of the place, and then you pay for a ticket to watch it.
From a point of view in the bleachers or wherever you pay enough to sit.
Yeah.
So you can
sell
shit twice.
I mean, that's the other thing too.
It's just more money for the UFC.
Yeah. So it's like if you're selling that front row ticket, you can sell 1,000 front row tickets. You can only probably sell 100 at the event, but you're selling 1,000 online. And like, I have friends that fuck with the Oculus, and I'm not shitting on any of this. I find it very interesting, but like, I have a friend who does watch movies on the Oculus, and he's like, dude, it's crazy. It's like, he's like, it's like being in IMAX, except for you're in the theater, but it's like there. And he's like, it's hard to explain, but like, it's more like a dream. It's really an awesome way to watch it. So like, if you start getting people comfortable with watching that way, it's really gonna fucking shift a lot of shit.
It's really going to take people out of the motivation to be involved in the real world.
Yeah.
And it scares the shit out of me.
It's coming up to a group and a generation that isn't motivated to begin with.
Not.
Because they're already doing that.
They don't want to be in the real world. They'd rather be escaping. They want to do that Ready Player One shit. They do. They want to go in the Oasis.
It could have been a little bit better.
I read the book before
the book's
movie.
probably blows it out of the water.
Way better, and they changed so much, but whatever. We can talk about that shit on any book to movie adaptation.
Yeah.
It happens. But like, they added some shit in that plot line that was like, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But whatever. They did it for the movie. It's great. Point is, people saw that shit. And then some of them obviously like the idea of it. I see the VR cafes at the mall and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's weird still seeing that.
You ever been to the mall recently? It's
Dude,
weird,
that's crazy.
But they got that VR cafe and there's always people in it.
I haven't been in the Lehigh Valley Mall because they do a good job of keeping it open with their outside. Yeah. Like that's still like that saved their asses. Like they would be the Palmer Mall if they didn't make that move. And then you have the Promenade, which I think just does well because people like being outside or like, you know what I mean? Like
Promenade doesn't do all that well sometimes though because they've got a lot of vacancies.
Yeah, that's true too.
They got a lot of vacancies.
That's true
there.
too.
Not
and that movie theater
half the year
would
like me. I'm a life above 60 or below 60 person. If it's below 60, I don't like it.
And I heard that read there.
I'm not going to want to walk from shop to shop outside on an 8-degree day like we just had. Like, geez, I'd love to get some new sunglasses down here at the whatever Sunglass Hut store. Well, I want to get some new sneakers afterwards, and that's, looking at the map, damn, that's all the way down there. It's cold. You want to walk that?
They have the movie theater.
Or go online like most people do.
But see, they have other stuff there. Is what they did is they put solid restaurants in there too.
They did. There are some
so
good
it's like
eateries
there is that life that's there. But I'm just saying, like, if those things were inside, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think like if those restaurants were inside the Palmer Mall, like the Palmer Mall is not being saved. Like, you know what I mean? Like they were like built specifically. Like if those locations weren't built, like none of that shit would be going on. I'm surprised the Palmer Mall hasn't like sold to Amazon or like somebody who needed that much space.
I feel like it might get repurposed. Part of it.
What do you think they'll do with it?
Well, they already do the Halloween store in like what used to be Bonton, don't they? They do the Halloween adventure every year, but that's only what, a month?
Yeah.
2 months out of the year. So,
did you remember how fucking busy that place used to be?
Yeah, that was the mall.
Dude, going to get video games, going to the line. Sometimes my parents would be like, "We're not going. We're not going to that mall."
Different. They used to have little bridges that went over the water fountains and stuff.
You used to rip butts in Arby's.
Plants. You used to be able to rip butts right in the middle of the mall. There were ashtrays and benches, and you walked in there and like you could be getting a slice of pizza in the little old school like pizza Italian restaurant that was like all red lights.
You know what? I lie. I lie. 3 years ago, I was running a delivery route, dropping off aprons and like towels and shit to restaurants for my buddy Keith. And there are restaurants that are still running that like are Italian restaurants where people locally will go there to pick up their pizza.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, like there are still those places where like the pet store might still be there.
I hope the pet store closes. I hate that shit. You got to think about how wild. Oh, it's terrible.
Wild. Man. Do you remember the animals just be in the window?
Oh, it's so sad when you think about it, man. Like they got got all those animals just sitting in there. If nobody buys them, they grow up to an age where they don't want to sell them because they're like full-grown animals now.
God
so now
knows
they have
what
to
they
go
do
somewhere.
They
I
probably
don't
just
know.
hit them with shovels and throw them
I
in the
don't
dumpster.
know. I don't know. I really don't. But like, they don't get those animals from great places either. A lot of the dogs that you'll get from a pet store are from puppy mills. Puppy mills like out in Lancaster, Amish country.
A lot of people hate the puppy mills.
Dude, my mom used to like picket against that stuff, man, because we had a pet store dog once and there's nothing but problems.
Yeah, I hear that from it. Yeah.
Purebred AKC papers. You can get AKC papers for like anything with a pulse almost.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like we found out a lot more stuff that's like you think it's some prestigious thing, it's not. But
I'm not excited for what's being built.
It is what it is.
Coming down from 248 now, it's like going to start bleeding like into Nazareth.
Oh my God, if they don't, I'm telling you, man. I was just at like the Wegmans Target shopping center.
It's a nightmare.
And there's no reason that on Monday at 6 p.m.
Nope.
that the line to exit the shopping center should be backed up to a point where that no movement can be had anywhere within the shopping center on the lanes because they've designed it as such.
I'll go back ways now.
Bro, that light takes like 2.5 minutes on 248, and then like that allows the cars to.
You can actually, you can, and I
like who designed this crap?
I pulled this move off a couple times where I'll go right, I'll go down, and then right where it says no U-turn, I'll bust a U-turn and just go the other way. Like if I've had it in that parking lot,
I'm not.
Dude. You could sit there for 45 minutes.
That's much easier for me at that point to just leave and go out by trains and lanes.
Yep, that's what I do now.
Yeah, man. Because like it's crazy to get on the 240. It backs up each way you go.
Yeah.
You can't get out of the fucking
If I take
place.
the Grom, that's the way I go. And I'm like, it's nice riding. It's not far. And then you come out on 191, and then I'm actually directly going to the studio. And it's less time because I'm not stuck.
But then they give you an arrow for like 16 seconds.
Yeah.
Like 4 cars get through because everybody's on their fucking phone.
Down past Buzz's.
Everybody's just like,
red
red light. I can do this as long as I want to. I'll know when it turns green.
Yeah.
And then they get mad if you beep at them. It's like, bro, go. We don't have much time here. It's really truncated. You should go. But I don't have time for people like that. I got way too much ambition on the road. Like, I need to get somewhere. You all do too.
Yeah, because you got to get back on the highway and get off there.
Well, just like in any going to work situation, like I got ambition. I got shit to do. I got like ants in my pants to go to work in the morning. Like I don't know who else like wants to go to work that badly in the morning, but I wake up and I get in the shower and I'm like, all right, I'm fucking getting out of this house and I'm getting to my shop. I gotta get to my shop. Like I gotta get there.
When were you last over at the Goat?
Fucking yesterday.
I know. How is it? I saw you were over there. I was like, fuck I gotta go over there.
That shit is so good.
I stopped by one time with a couple buddies that were in the area because that's where I go now. Yeah. Like my buddies were like, where do you want to go? I'm like, well, Uber to.
It's like 8 minutes away.
Well, Uber to. If we Uber from here, it's $8.
Yeah, and for me, it's like 2 minutes away.
Yeah, so I'm like, cool. I'm like, so now when people are like, hey, do you want to go somewhere? I'm like, yeah, we'll go over to the Goat.
Yeah.
They're like, well, what's that place? I'm like, Killer Pizza.
Everything.
I'm like, they got High Life bottles, but they also have other shit on tap.
Anything
you
order is gonna come out. Just
plus the staff's so awesome, and then like from doing the podcast, like I really want to get those guys back in here. And I probably have them in to just.
I want
bullshit.
you to get the brothers Matt and Tim in here, man, because like that's who I know.
But like that's what's going to be so much fun. Going into the new studio with the new space is being able to like work with restaurants like that where like I just love it. And I'm like, cool, why don't you come in and make the special you're going to have this week?
Yeah.
And just like push it.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like have them come in and like, cool, like let's push that because I have a kitchen now and like we can cut promos and like that's the episode. I'll drop it Monday and then like we'll promote that all week.
Yeah.
And then like that,
drive people in, man.
Yeah, but like that's what's awesome is like now I can like help out even more. It's not like, hey, I hope people follow the show. Now it's like, cool, you have a useful tool that's coming out of here that you can dump into your social media that's going to help you out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love those guys over there. They're nothing but like the nicest people in the world once you go in there.
I know. And they're totally professional about getting shit done the right way. They built that place to run.
What's your favorite slice?
My favorite pie?
Yeah.
Honestly, I've always been a barbecue guy. They have a barbecue pie with pulled pork and like, caramelized onions and all that shit on it. I just can't say that's my favorite pie.
Yeah.
But
I get
runner
stuck
up behind that is probably either the hot and honey or the Goat.
The hot and honey. Which one's the Goat? Is that the one with Giacomo's sausage?
Goat, no, that's the 700 Maine. The Goat.
Yes, that one. I got stuck on that. I got stuck.
I've had every pie. You know what I mean? But like, my
I get
favorite
stuck.
The Goat has the goat cheese and the caramelized onions and the apple slices.
I didn't get that one yet.
The goat cheese. It's like this is so different. You read it and you're like, that's not even a pizza. Fuck yeah, it is. Yeah. It's a great pizza.
The wings are fucking fire.
Yeah, the wings are great.
Yeah.
Everything that I've had there is on point. Even like I got onion rings as a side.
It's always busy. Always busy.
Their onion rings are handmade.
They started opening
It's
up
not some
earlier
frozen
too, didn't
crap
they?
out of a bag,
Like
dude.
Saturdays, they're open at like 12 now.
They added some hours.
Yeah,
Yes. They
fuck
were,
yeah.
Like, you know, they have lunch hours on the weekends now, which is great because 3 p.m. is a little bit late for some people that want to do a lunch crowd type.
Or you get crunched in with the dinner crowd.
Right, and that can be a huge.
If you're there
rush.
for lunch, it's only lunch.
Right,
people.
and they have. It's not a huge restaurant.
Yeah.
You know, there's only so much floor space. There's only so much parking lot area.
I'll always want the bar. Give me the bar.
Bar's good.
Give me the bar.
And they got great bartenders.
Yeah,
too.
they're awesome.
Yep, everything's good. Dude, what can you complain about? Even yesterday when we went, I got to sit next to the. Yeah,
Jukebox?
I got
Yeah.
to sit next to OG VIPs though. Like I got to sit next to Tim and Matt's parents.
Yeah.
They came in and I was like, "Hey, long time no see." You know,
That's cool.
used to come to their house like when their kid was like just out of high school. When I first started hanging out with him years and years ago. We're old men now, right? He's got kids and a restaurant, and I got my business and stuff. It's just nice to see his parents still looking the same. Like, hey, how you doing? And it was just like, this is really real.
Yeah.
This is real. They have their own like the spot. You know what I mean? Like it's like the Max.
I
from
take
Saved
the
by the
Grom
Bell.
over
Like it's
there.
a cool spot.
I'll take the Grom over for pizza, and they
Yeah.
have like the little spot in the back. I can
Yeah.
park the bike.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, it's so easy.
And like the rail trail's right behind their restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So if I ever wanted to like, if you wanted to ride bikes and take a stop and have a beer and a pie, you know what I mean? It's right on the route, dude. It's right on the route. It's so great for us being up here.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that it's there.
Me too. Like my favorite local restaurant, Dat's, is really good too.
Oh, I keep wanting to go in there.
Dude,
I
you
want to
haven't
go
gone
in
to
there.
Dat's
No,
yet?
I've never
I told
been.
you about that, I think, last time I
A million
was here.
people tell me about Dad's.
Bro, you're fucking up.
I know.
Dat's is great.
And I forget it's
go in
over
there
there,
all
and
the
then I
time.
drive by and I always go to Gina. There's that place that everyone keeps
Like I'm a
telling us to
creature
go.
of habit, and I get mostly the same shit every time. But that's just me everywhere I go, except for the goat, because I had to try one of everything, and I have. And now I'll probably fall into my regular shit. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I'll probably go with hot and honey or goat or barbecue. The other ones are good. but
Now
I
I'm gonna
like
have to
what I
go.
like.
I might even fucking go up there Friday.
But
Uber
Dat's,
over.
dude, Dat's has got a great like interior vibe going on. It's the
It's like
old
50s, right? Yeah.
diner. You know what I mean? It's got like records on the floor. The whole floor is like vinyls.
Yeah.
So that and jukebox and like the old muscle car die cast models on the walls and like the old fucking what's that? Oh, waiting. What was that place called? Shenanigans.
Yeah,
With all
yeah,
the shit
yeah,
on the
yeah,
walls.
yeah.
They got a lot of shit on the walls. It's
Yeah.
great, but it's it's all period correct stuff. I dig it. The food's all really good, and they trained their like wait staff and the girls behind the counter. They're all like super regimented.
I see that coming back.
Everything is right. Like they do the same thing. They have that routine. They don't skip. Like they ask
Yeah.
you the right questions every time. They don't skip steps. Nothing gets fucked up. I love that.
I've been seeing that coming back. There was a coffee shop I went to that we went down, and then when we were talking to her after, she's like, "I pride myself on customer service."
Hell
like,
yeah, man.
Beyond, and it's cool. Like you don't see it in the bigger stuff anymore, but what it's cool is seeing the mom and pop and the small stuff coming through, and they're standing out from that. Like,
Yeah.
cool. Well,
And that's who
you
I'd
could
rather
go
support.
there and go deal with a total
That's
moron.
who I want to support.
Yeah,
I don't want to
yeah.
give any. I haven't eaten fast food in quite some time. It's years.
Fast
now.
food is like
Dude,
Wild
it's
West now.
Years now. At
It
this
is
point.
Wild
Like,
West.
The
It
most
is not
recent
when we were
fast food I
kids.
had was Chick-fil-A, and even that is not really that good. It's
Yeah.
just not. It tastes good, but it's still garbage for you. Not to say I'm a perfectly healthy eater, but like I know I could probably do better than that shit. And they charge you so much money for that crap.
Yeah.
So much money, and you get less portions and longer lines
Every
and
time.
all this stuff, man.
Every
I'm not
time.
about it anywhere these places. When we saw restaurants closing and like disappearing that we've known our entire lives, restaurants from the valley that have been here for 30 years, you know what I mean? And they disappeared because of this pandemic shit because people weren't frequenting them. I never want to give my money to a chain. I don't want to give my money to chains
Yeah.
at all. I don't want to do it. I don't want to go to Burger King. I don't want to go to TGI Fridays. I don't want to go to any of those places. I'm going to go to a place that could close if I didn't go there. The GOAT. Granted, they probably wouldn't because they got enough other people that are coming there. They do.
No, I get
they
what
do
you're
that
saying.
well.
I like
Well,
going
you know
to
what I'm
sport and to go
saying.
for that reason.
That's like if it's a franchise, you got a good chance.
Yeah, like when Widows
like
got-
Salad Works. How the fuck is Salad Works still open by the Wawa there on 248
I don't know.
next to the dispensary? How's that? Wow. How's that?
I thought it was
Solidworks
crazy they put a dispensary
open?
in there too, because that was a Dan's camera. That's such a terrible location. Everything comes and goes.
But like most of the traffic in that little shopping center, anytime you drive by,
Wawa.
is people for the no, because it's a separate parking area.
Oh, yeah.
It's for the dispensary. They get a lot of traffic.
Oh
in
yeah,
there.
now that that's
but that
there,
salad
but
works.
shit there.
Who eats salad works? $18
Is that
or whatever for a
CC's
salad.
Pizza still there?
No.
Yeah.
Gone.
See, like that's what I'm saying.
That
is,
whole
like,
shopping center is
yeah.
empty, except that little strip there is empty, except for the dispensary and salad works.
What
How
did the car
hell's-
wash place turn into?
It's a car wash.
Is it still a car wash?
It's a car wash. Yeah, it was Sonic, and then it became a
that's
car
right.
Wash. Yeah.
Yeah.
They say they're the best car wash in the valley, but don't use car washes. Where the camera's at. Bang, 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 bang. No car washes. Don't do that shit. It's bad news.
Yeah.
If you like your car, wash it by hand. And if you've got to use somebody else's stuff, use a self-serve with the pressure washers. Don't use the brush.
I always
Keep
use
a
the
bucket
brush.
and a little Tupperware bin of
I
towels
love the
in your
rock
freaking.
brush.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know.
Dude, I remember being a kid and it was my first car and no
Scrubbing
one told me about that
everything.
shit, dude. And then like my dad's like, "What'd you do to this thing?" He goes, "There's swirls throughout the whole thing." And I'm like, "I used the brush." He's like, "What?"
Yeah.
He's like, "There's rocks in there. You
Yeah.
ruined your car."
Yeah. I'm not missing an inch. Yeah, well, neither did the guy before you who
was
was
like that
scrubbing his
one
fender
time
liners
you're, like,
out
going
after
on
the
a
snowstorm.
date.
Yeah, like, oh my God, man. Like, oh, it's clean. It's got 3 different color foam soap on it.
Yeah.
Get out of here with
I
that
love
crap.
all
And
that
to my
stuff.
customers, if you're still using those places, just come back for maintenance more often and try not to use that brush. It is what it is. I don't hate you. Keep on coming back. I love working for you. But damn it, man. Those self-serve car washes are still not very good. You know
People
what I
have
mean?
memberships to those.
And the ones where you drive through the tunnel and it
Yep.
smacks your car, forget about
You
it.
ever see the ones where the kids will like open the doors and fuck around and then they don't realize that it's like a machine and it's pulling you and
Oh,
it's not
yeah.
gonna stop?
Yeah, I've seen some horrible videos
like
online.
rip the door
Yeah, but you can
off.
like be killed.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can be seriously killed.
Absolutely.
There was that one video where the guy's like an employee and he's in
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah,
tunnel,
yeah,
like
yeah,
pressure
yeah,
washing
yeah,
and
yep,
cleaning.
yep.
And he gets the hose wrapped up around the spindle. Dude, if it was Andretti's back in the day, that kid would be dead.
Yeah.
Because that thing had some fucking torque.
Yeah.
And he would have been just yoked up. Like, it would have been really bad. Because that thing was serious. Like, you'd have cars go through and there'd be mirrors missing, antennas missing. You know, granted, it says to take antennas off. Not every one of them comes off. Plus, your mirrors aren't designed to come off your car. They're just not.
Yeah.
But when the car wash zips them right off the side of the car, well, brother, now you got a convertible.
No,
it's I don't know, man. It's an at your own risk kind of deal. Like
No.
you trust a $7 car wash done by a machine to like take care of the second most expensive thing that you own in your life if you have a house. If not, it's the most expensive thing you own likely, and you just trust a machine to take care of it. Not saying that it's the end of the world if you got swirls in your
I'm
paint.
saying
You know
it's
what
the
I
end of
mean?
the world,
It's not.
and that's how I want to wrap this up. Is saying
Yeah.
that no, that
No.
if you use a car wash, you could more than likely be murdered. That machine will kill you. I've seen plenty of YouTube videos, and to save yourself from that death, I ask you to choose Rip Auto Detail.
Mike, that's the best
I
closing.
want you to give your social media, because watching what you do with the cars on social media is awesome as well. And then watching you grow on social media where you're doing more of the videos, and it's like, I know it's not the easiest thing to fit that much content into the work itself. So like, it's awesome that you can keep up and put out cool stuff. Some of the banger cars you get in there, the real foreign stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I really love the social media to follow. Plus, you actually watch the progression of a business. So if you want to plug that, and anyway, anybody can get a hold of you for choosing to use your services.
Right on. I'm Mark. They call me Rip. Rips Auto Detail. You can find me on Instagram, Rips Auto Detail, RIPS Auto Detail. You can hit me, Mark, at ripsautodetail.com for my email. Try not to do that because I don't read that shit very much. It just is what it is. I don't really like to go into the DMs or the emails. I prefer a phone call, messages, all that stuff. So if you want to call me, 484-553-1366. Social medias, really, you'll see most of what I'm doing. You can go on the website, but I don't update that very often as far as the media that I'm posting. You're going to see more up-to-date stuff as far as, you know, the social media page. And even then, sometimes I'm just going to be on my personal, and you got to be lucky enough to follow me on that one. You'll have to find me. But they're context clues. You'll get me. But for the business, yeah, give me a follow on Rips Auto Detail. Watch what I'm doing. If you're interested in paint corrections, ceramic coatings, anything in the Lehigh Valley as far as highline aesthetics for your vehicle. We're not talking cheap stuff here, and I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. It just is what it is. I've been working at this for a long time, and if you want someone to take a prideful approach to the aesthetic care of your vehicle and really turn you out a product that you haven't experienced with someone else before, give me a shot, man. It's a one-car, one-man approach, and everybody gets the same level of devotion. Obviously some jobs cost more and some less, and you've got to draw a fine line there. It's easy to really obsess over things and go too far sometimes and over-deliver. It's never really a bad thing, though. So give me a shot. Thanks for listening. Mike, thanks for having me, dude.
Of course, dude. We'll do this again. Fun. No, I want to set it up. I want to get the band back together and get everybody down here.
Yeah, we need to get some hot dogs down. Yeah. First off, there are more hot dog places that we need to pit up against one another. That was fun. And also just...
There's other dogs that we haven't even tried in the area. Like I had... I didn't know the dogs at Crossroads were that good, and I was like, dude, these hot dogs
at Petey's Edie's.
Ooh, see, I didn't know they had dogs.
Dude,
I'll go over there and get dogs.
Has great food.
Yeah,
they really do. Yeah. It's a gas station eatery, but honestly,
no, it's a scale.
It's not
up
a gas station.
There's
thing.
someone
it's like
cooking.
It's a totally separate entity, and they do a great job over there. Man, Nazareth has some great, this Stockertown area has some great food to offer, and I'm glad that I've been able to pick up on it after been living here for over a year now.
They're out there. There's gems. I mean, there's a lot of pizza shops, but each one does something better than the other. And, there's just a lot of different things, and more food's coming to the area. So it's exciting to...
It is.
To do it, I'm going to go to Petey's Edie's for hot dogs now. If you're a first-time listener, first-time watcher, you can get everything on neveragainstudio.com. Please subscribe, like to the YouTube channel. We're trying to get that up to 1,000 subscribers. We're halfway, so please go ahead and subscribe to that if you liked anything here. Neveragainstudio.com has everything else, our apparel, keeps everything up to date. What else is over there? There's pictures and shit up there. We're going to revamp all that, but for now, the YouTube is I'm highly pushing that, so please go subscribe to that. Thank you so much, dude. If you want to have another beer, I will have one with you. If not, have a good evening.
Hit me up for that Modesto. It's that magic. Let's do it.
Never Again Radio. Get into it, brother.